Do we have audio now, guys? Can you guys hear me? Please let me know. All right, I think I won. But yeah. Hang on. Can you guys hear me now? All right, sweet. For the love of all technical difficulties, happy Sunday night, guys. Here we go. The Omni's going to be printing on K9 Crystal right now. Just had to hit a button here for a customer. But we are in the process of doing our auto measuring right now. This is something that we trialed the other day on a demo with a customer. And I honestly was very simply amazed. Did not think about a possible workflow here that would include the Omni and or the F2 Ultra UV with the inner engraving for the crystal. Definitely amazed me for sure. I know that the gentleman that I did that with, he is definitely here tonight. Really, really good idea. He told me the other day he's going to put a trademark on it right away. So either way, guys, some really, really, really cool stuff. So right now, the Omni's actually going to be laying in 2 layers of white on this crystal. There is a color print that I had already put on the backside of it here right before we had started. So we'll be doing that here. I'm going to have my commentary here. So we're going to do a live Q&A also, guys, while this is going. So you guys have me for a couple of hours tonight here on the O1 Omni. So what we're going to do, as you can see, we're going to be showcasing and actually printing, which is going to start up here in just a moment. We'll talk about xTool Studio and how it is set here for the Omni and all the intuitive features that is in there for the Omni. Of course, I am in a test version right now. So whenever I do show it to you guys later, just know that it is not currently live as far as Studio actually goes right now. So with that said, we are currently printing a double white layer there. And I want to grab a tumbler. That way we have it so I can show you guys that tonight too. Appreciate your guys' flexibility because I just needed to finish with a customer before we had started. But let me grab a tumbler here so that we have it. And I'm going to scroll back in your guys' question here in just a second. Take a peek. Just remember, guys, I am not a content creator. I am not an influencer. I am a small business owner and an end user. So this is my daily life right here, guys. Fun, fun, fun stuff. But it's cool. I have fun doing it, and we do it, for you guys also. So, hey, there we go. We got a tumbler. Sweet. All right. I guess probably tired of looking at my back right there. So, alrighty. Cool. Welcome, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and take a peek here in the comments here for some of the commentary. See what we are looking at. And happy Sunday, guys. It has definitely been a very long weekend here. It is launch week for the Omni. So definitely, lots and lots of fun and exciting stuff. You guys have probably watched Bev here over the last 3 nights. Definitely did a great job. So, kudos to her. Virtual round of applause. So yeah, O1 Omni, guys, we are in the dual UV variant right now. We are printing on K9 Crystal as we speak. And definitely something I never really thought actually would have been, worth looking into with this machine here. But we're going to be also putting a capping on that here momentarily. But while we're at it, I'll show you guys a couple of projects that we have done here with the Omni. So we do photo canvases. Love photo canvases. So we have a couple of examples of that, as you guys can see here on the camera. I'm going to hide that graphic here for a second. That way you guys can see it on the other side there, because I know it's covering it up. So, boom, photo canvases, right? So, nice, beautiful 12 by 16 photo canvas here. This was a flat print. I was playing with the resin settings and got a nice, really nice, beautiful, just glossy finish on there. Maintained all that photo quality that we had there for that. Let's take a peek here. Have another nice, beautiful photo canvas right here. This was a texture build. Excuse my backing of apparel printer supplies, guys. Nice, beautiful texture build here. Absolutely just phenomenal. You guys could just really feel everything. Very tactile, very dimensional. I don't know how well you guys can see that, if it wants to focus there. But really nice, beautiful canvas texture print here. No resin on top of this at all. No gloss layer, no matte finish. I just went with the full texture build. And then this is just final color right up top here. So again, absolutely beautiful. The wife is like Jones and hang this on the wall. I won't let her yet because, you know, hey, we got to do this for you guys. So got that. Let's see, phone cases, guys. Smart masking feature. Phone cases. This is for an iPhone 17 Pro Max, as you can see. Definitely accommodated for around the camera bump too. So, you know, the printer is very accurate for that. Stick that back there. Rigid photo canvas, guys. Nice, beautiful picture of Expedition Everest from Walt Disney World down in Orlando, Florida. You can see that. Totally violated a Seafoam Green Yeti. Ooh, almost winged at that one. Totally almost violated a Seafoam Green Yeti. Completely covered it up. I purposely did this to essentially test out if you guys were using your sublimation files, because this is a sublimation file, to just see, you know, how well that the Omni can actually handle that. Because the number one problem with sublimation, and everybody knows it and they all complain about it, is you get that seam line, right? No seam at all. So the software totally accommodated for that in the full wrap layout. This was just on the auto scan, the auto modeling from the OR1 rotary. No adjustments from me whatsoever. Did a fantastic job. Really nice, beautiful finish there. So got to change the color of the cap though. So didn't think about that at the time. Guys, texture build patches, leatherette patches. One of my counterparts in xTool out on the West Coast in Washington, by the name of Arturo Tellez. He was doing texture build patches on another manufacturer's machine for a while there. And I still had some left over from what he had made for me from the time. And comparably speaking, okay, the one on my hat right here is one of the ones that he had done for me, okay, a while ago. I have pushed the limits on the Omni just a little bit here just to see what we can do, and played with some of the texture build settings for thickness, and went and did a print and cut on an identical size patch. You can barely tell any differences. So complete recreation, totally beautiful. Nice texture build. Really just shows everything there, guys. So very impressive. 100% impressive. And I can tell you right now, the print and cut workflows are going to be super exciting as once they actually get activated in Studio. That was off of a manual alignment, so I was just a teeny tiny bit off, but worked really well. Also tested with another one of my counterparts, Abby's Attic Creations. She is probably here with us tonight. I'm sure I'll see you in the chat there later. Again, we did a texture build with her logo, and then a flat print with her logo also. But if we can really look at that texture build, see that white in there, if we can really get it, you could see it definitely stands off. It's a little tough to look at, but definitely there. Really nice texture build. So also started playing with the fluorescence as well, which has been really cool. Was on a demo earlier when I was playing around with it, and I had ordered on Amazon this morning this nice UV flashlight, and we did it, we printed it, and I was like, oh wow, you know, I really want to look at this, but I don't have the flashlight here. And it was, I don't know, like maybe 2 minutes later after I said that it had shown up. So you know, 3D printed a case here for my P3 lenses with my logo, threw xTool's logo up there, and I decided I was going to put the fluorescence over P3 lenses here. And on a nice little, well, we'll see if I could, let's try that. Nice and dark. Look at that. Totally cool. So freaking cool. We'll probably try that later on something else, guys. But the fluorescent inks, insane. Love it. Absolutely love it. Of course, I can see all the dust on my camera too. So, you know, again, all those capabilities that we have there with the Omni and then some. So, let me just check on my commentary here before we get going on another one. Okay, let's see. Helix Radio, Mr. Case, not a good start, Richard. Sorry. Got to take care of customers, guys. And we had the audio issue, but we got it. We're here. We're here. All right. While we're going through this, let me throw that graphic back up there for you guys to go ahead. You can enter for those ink sets. Let me run through the comments here so I can get your guys' questions answered. Okay, let's see. Lots of yeses. Lots and lots of yeses. Okay. I got a question about the F2 Ultra. Will it work with the new rotary, or do we have to buy a separate rotary if we get the Omni, looking at getting the F2 Ultra and the Omni at the same time? Arnold, to answer your question on that, the Omni is its own dedicated rotary. So we do use the OR1, which is this unit here, completely dedicated and designed for this machine and this machine only. For your F2, you would be looking at the RA3. So you would need that. Okay. George, any opinion on their embroidery machine? No opinion that I could provide at this time, to be wholly honest with you. I have not really been able to, I haven't had time to really kind of like look into it and try and see. We do embroidery, as you guys can see behind us. I'm sure that I'm going to try to see what I could do to, hopefully kind of assist in that process. But it's kind of exciting to see. I would love to see a multi-needle at some point, but, as the companies keep growing, we will see. Let's see. Hannah, UV printing on my CES glass engraving was the first thing I did when I got home. Amazing. Okay. Can we practice on the software until the machine arrives? Unfortunately, no. The software is still in its test versions right now for the Omni. It is not out on public release as of yet. At some point, whenever it does go for the next major software upgrade, I'm sure that we will see it pop in there. Righty. How was everyone's weekend? If you guys were in the studio, what'd you guys make? Let's hear. Drop it in the comments there. Need to try some mess up sublimation cups. Yep, that's a good way to practice. Yep, Beth is here. How are you? Oh, Ever After Studio. Hey, hey. Oh my God, you guys really left me a ton of comments here. Whew. All right. So again, smack that QR code. Go ahead and enter to win ink sets. Let's see. Fancho Carter, which machine does the UV DTF stickers? The official answer is all of them. You will need the roll feeder and the laminator, though, for that. Early bird purchase, to my knowledge, if you had the privilege vouchers, you had, I believe, a total of 14 days on those. You can check in your portal, xTool.com, go to the top right where your little like person body thing is for my account, and then go ahead and sign in there. And you can go to my order, and you should see privilege voucher at the top of the window there. Okay. I see my hand signals are making my camera move, so we're going to try not to do those. Let's see. What size is the largest canvas that you could do? These were 12 by 16s. By max on the pad, you've got a 13-inch by 16 and a half overall working area on that with the large bed here. Can the single head print texture and layers? I believe so. I'm 99.9% positive on that. I believe you're just working with a different white for the texture build. If any of my counterparts that are in here with me want to comment on that, please do. We do have the dual UV variant here, guys. But if any of my counterparts in here want to comment on that, please go ahead and do so for me. So let's see, clearing out the old scraps, making room for my dedicated cabinet for the Omni. Hey, little idea. If you have a whole bunch of scrap acrylic, this is a great machine to play with. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap in here Studio so we can take a look. And let me see. Which window do I want to share? Okay. All right, guys. xTool Studio right here. So what I'm going to do is, this was being done in multi-layering. So we had started with a color layer, and then I did a white layer, and I'm going to cap it with black here now. So I'm just going to take my square here and just change my color on it real quick. And we're going to come right over here, and I'm going to change this back to color only. And I'm going to do 3 layers on that, and I'm going to go ahead and send this to the machine. And we're going to go ahead and let that process here, and it's going to go ahead and remeasure itself. And it just does this as a safety precaution, guys, just to make sure that you're not going to have any collisions with the actual print heads. So it's going to go ahead and take care of that for us. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go ahead and complete that. All right, Angelina Angston, thank you. Let's see, what would the single head do canvas wall art and leatherhead hat patches? Yes, absolutely will. Difference between this machine and the others already out there. Unfortunately, I cannot provide any commentary on any of the other brands. I can only provide commentary on the xTool machine. Sorry about that. You can catch some of those comparisons and stuff in my own private lives that I do separate from xTool. Difference between the normal white and the rigid and the flex, again, just the way that it essentially lays down and what you can use it for, surface-wise. Do I know if it's printing in a unidirectional or bidirectional? Arnold prints. Right now, we are printing in a unidirectional, and to my knowledge, from what I have heard, we may see bidirectional here through some software and firmware updates. Okay. Can you turn off the chat being shown? Well, we're just right over the xTool Studio window right now, so whenever I'm doing some other graphic work, yes. But right now, we're just going to leave it be for now. Will I be able to run 2 printers at the same time off of one computer? Yes, you actually literally can run all your xTool equipment off of a single computer. Just know that, of course, there may be some limitation and stuff, in terms of your speed and, processing reliability and stuff like that. So, it is okay to have multiple computers, but, if you are limited to just one and you want to run a bunch of machines off of it, so as long as it's got the processing and memory capabilities to do so, by all means. Normal for hard objects, flex leather, canvas more flexible. The rigid can crack if it's on a flexible substrate. Yes, that is truthfully accurate. Let's think about it though. The leather hat patches, typically once they're pressed off to, like the hat per se, your likelihood of actually flexing it's not really too much. If you have enough layers in there, you should be okay. But in terms of longevity, at least from what I've been told and been experimenting with, and stuff like that, from my limited knowledge on it per se for that aspect of things, flexible is probably going to be your best option for there. If a client ordered, for example, pop art, can the design get saved and sent there for approval? Whenever you're done, getting your designs done, and you go into the preview, yes, there is a way that you could either go ahead and either screen cap them out of Studio, or I do believe, as we do have in some of the other machines, where you can actually download a preview. If doing bulk tumblers, does it need to run through the scan for each or only the first? Jeff, if they are all the same, 100% the same, you will only need to do the scan one time. Now, however, whenever you do change out the tumbler in the machine, it is going to check that height measurement, though, just to make sure that you don't have any collision. So that is completely normal. So, guys, don't drop your emails in the chat. Please scan the QR code. That is where you need to put that information. You don't want to have this taken. Can you pre-coat something white, then compare the quality to something printed regularly? Perhaps. We'll see. I'm going to grab some other supplies and stuff that I got laying around here. We'll see what the night carries on here for us. So, again, just laying down a black capping layer. And this was purely experimental, what we did yesterday with the K9 crystals, guys. But kind of doing something with one that already has an engraving in it, just for all intents and purposes, for my curiosity, and of course, to give you guys some ideas, right? So, but while that is printing, while we are in here, of course, you can see, I got a black rectangle right here. The original image that we had in there was Cinderella's castle out of Disney World there. So that we did that, had printed, was it two? What do we do here? We did 3 layers of color. I did 3 layers of white, and I got 2 on the black for like a capping layer there. And this is something we could put on like a lit base or something like that. This is already engraved from the F2 UV inside. There's no saying that the workflow has to be, you have to engrave it beforehand. You could definitely throw it on there after, because you still have access to that top of that block to be able to make that engraving happen. So looking like we're just about coming down to roughly maybe the end of that second layer there. So really, really, really excited to see what the results are going to look like on this one for sure. Let's take a peek here. I think I've finally decided on a dual head. Jennifer, it's a great choice. I definitely think it's probably the most versatile of all of them, in my opinion, for sure. So, fun stuff, fun stuff. All right, guys, drop it in the comments. What kind of projects did you guys make this week? And if you guys did it with xTool machines, let us know what they were. Let us know. And or maybe, in your commentary there, how do you think that you could integrate the Omni in those workflows? Drop it in the comments. Let's get some action going here. Like to hear from you guys. I'm trying to see if I can do this. So you guys actually see me and not staring down at a computer here. So let's see. How long will the ink last if the machine is in standby mode compared to in the machine but off? Okay. The machine cannot be powered off. The machine does need to remain powered on at all times because of the whiting circulation system and the stirring system. The machine is, similarly speaking, just like the apparel printer, where essentially, it is taking care of itself when you are not using it, stuff like that. So definitely want to make sure that it does have power at all times. Maybe even want to invest in looking at a battery backup of some sort to be able to make sure that you don't have any issues with that inking system. When it is in a extended standby, or what they're calling vacation mode, vacation mode will actually allow you to be able to essentially walk away from this machine for up to 2 weeks. And it'll maintain itself, not have any issues, stuff like that. So definitely worth looking into. All those kind of features and stuff, and they're all listed out all on the page for the Omni, guys. But it has been openly advertised that vacation mode 2 weeks, you should be able to walk away from this machine without any issue. But the machine does need to remain powered on for sure. So while it's finishing up, I'm gonna make a quick adjustment to my camera. That way you guys can actually see the Omni close up and not look at me 2 times because I have my camera here. So we'll do that. You see, there looks like we're coming down to the end of that. We got our black cap done. Our bed's coming down. Let's see. We got some questions here. So let's see. Am I running the dual UV? Yes, April. We are running the dual UV variant here. Fanchon Carter, engrave on glass. Yes, this is a inner engraved cube already. Are you able to have templates based off of the type of tumblers that it will save the sort of height or setup? It will measure height every time, guys, to make sure that you don't have a collision with that, that print head. So that's a total safety thing. For the whole 30 seconds to a minute that it takes for safety, that just let it do its thing. Can you print and cut with an MMM? Well, yes, you can print and cut with this laser for sure. And there will be a workflow integrated where you can actually print and cut with many of the xTool machines as well. Let's see. I made like 15 shirts for display with my apparel printer. Just got an order for 60 prints. After this, I'm on that. Amazing. Awesome. Good job. Love it. Make earrings and necklaces to go with my embroidered items. Love to be able to make my own patterns on acrylic for inlays among car coasters and magnets, etc. Yes, that was actually one of my demos we just had the other day, where we were, playing with, like little like trinkets and jewelry and stuff like that. So, I mean, guys, just the utter precision and just how small that you can print on some things is just utterly insane. It's absolutely amazing. Can you print and cut with a laser other than an xTool laser? I wouldn't see why not. Obviously, for all intents and purposes here, xTool is going to be preferred. The workflow built in the program is going to be preferred for, xTool lasers. But, in any of the workflows or any of the canvases per se, you can always export your lines out as a SVG. So, I mean, you can set up cut files and stuff like that. But whatever the flow is going to be for your machine, that's on you to essentially figure that out. So, Millen 3 Studio, what happens if it gets disconnected? I'm not too sure what you're referring to. Please go ahead and give me some clarity on that. Let's see, doing canine crystals and adding a color background. Yep, too old to do this. You know it, buddy. And I went ahead. I'm going to clean the front of this here. It's actually kind of cool. It's like super cool. Let me show you guys. Probably would have set this one just a tiny bit differently with my daughter, so she's kind of rather large in there. But all intents and purposes, show you guys here. This is already inner engraved with my daughter inside, but we do have Cinderella's castle in the background. So lots of dimension, lots of depth. If this was being re-engraved by me right now, I probably would have just made her a good bit smaller. But this is me just testing, playing around, stuff like that, just to show you guys, what this thing is totally capable of. The one cube that does not have any engraving on it that we did the other day, just absolutely just beautiful coloring. Not too sure if that's focusing very well for you guys, but beautiful coloring on that, just really nice dimension. Guys, even if you're just if you want to work with the canine crystals and you don't want to engrave the inside, you could do these beautiful dimensional prints in there like that and still put these on lit bases and stuff. So lots and lots of, different things that you could do with these. And this is not anything that I ever thought of at all. So really cool. So let's put those over there. And, you know what? I want to show you guys this. I totally forgot about this because it was sitting on my embroidery machine. 1/8 inch black opaque or acrylic. We did just a single white laydown and a single color laydown for this. There was not multiple passes, nothing like that. And this is the end result that we had gotten out of there. Just absolutely beautiful. Eric, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. So again, really vivid, lots of nice, beautiful coloring there. Remember, guys, you got artificial light that's kind of influencing the camera and stuff here, but absolutely beautiful things that you guys can do with this machine. So, with that said, we need a project. That's what we need. So, I am going to take a knockoff Ridge wallet, okay, and we're going to take some 91% isopropyl alcohol, and we're just going to clean the surface on there. By right, it is a metal. We probably really should be using a primer or an adhesion promoter of some sort. However, I do have very limited supply of that right now. So I'm going to take my gamble on the 91% alcohol. It's actually been working pretty good for some things. But definitely want to, make sure you guys are priming your guys' surfaces appropriately. So let me see. How easy is it to get or align a printed logo to the tumbler brand of a tumbler like a Yeti? I can definitely show you some modeling there. I have one Yeti that I've been doing a lot of testing on, but we can definitely remodel it in studio. That way you guys can see it. What would the steps or measurements be if you need to step away from the machine for more than 2 weeks? I'm traveling overseas for about a month. Chris, full transparency on that. I'm sure you probably would want to make sure that, your moisturizing fluid cartridges, are either full or new, I should say, and or that your waste tank would probably be empty. The machine going into vacation mode. We don't have the official technical guidance on that yet, but I would assume that either A, you may want to, either just have somebody check on it, and or maybe just run a quick print while you're away, or B, there probably may be a better answer to that coming down the line. But, if it's anything like the apparel printer, I know that you can confidently walk away from the machine for a little while and be okay. So, will the effects be part of the software for free, or do you have to buy credits to use them? Stained glass, holographic, etc. So really good question on that. I mean, in theory, coming into the useful tools and generators here, we come down to the generator here. Let me take let me make that bigger here. That way you guys can actually see it. Let's spotlight the software. I'm going to cut the chat off here for just a moment, guys. And let's get rid of the graphics bar. So you guys normally I got multiple screens when I'm doing this stuff, working with one tonight. So essentially, let's take this out of here. So in the effects and generators and stuff like that, basically, you know, right here, right on the left side in your applications tab, or in this case, useful tools and generators, this is where you can find some of the specialty things. You know, so you get the 3D glasses free, crochet pattern, raster card, oil painting, wedding sign, cake topper, sticker, stained glass, you know, layered cutting, so much more. So lots and lots of really cool stuff, really useful stuff that is in here. So in this case, if we wanted to, we'll say we'll play with the stained glass generator, right? So this here specifically, we would upload a image that we would want to use on this. So we'd come into create new, and we're going to upload an image in there. Okay. And let's see, what do we want to use? These are they've been playing with the other day. Curiosity speaking, let's use this one just because. I'm going to open. So yes, it is a credit generation, you know, based on the AI features. Now I tell everybody is that, you know, the credits are cheap, and xTool is always reinvesting, you know, any of the monies for that stuff back into the system to improve and make improvements and keep, you know, bringing these generators and stuff for you guys. You know, albeit that fact that, you know, the software itself, Studio itself, is of course proprietary to xTool, and is obviously included with the machines. There's no subscription base or anything like that with them whatsoever. You know, but as far as like the AI features, it really is worth its weight in gold. And the fact that, you know, the credits cost as little as they do, and there's so much ability to be able to, you know, like earn free credits, and you know, get credits when you purchase machines and stuff like that. You know, they actually last quite a bit, to be wholly honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this up. You know, we're gonna let it generate here. I'm gonna grab a piece of clear acrylic that I have. Just came in today, courtesy of our friends at the Amazon. Ah. And go ahead and we'll pull the plastic on the one layer. Oh, that's a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be. Well, for all intents and purposes, good enough. We are testing. Nice little generation we got out of that, actually. So go ahead and we will place our acrylic on the print bed. And we'll get the camera back on for you guys so you guys can see that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this one out to my template. So open in Studio. And whenever I bring stuff into Studio, guys, I always come in as keep size, and then I'll resize from there. Okay. So we're going to go to, let's find where that went. Where'd that go? So we got multiple layers here that we were playing with. Let's go ahead and we'll get a scan on our bed here so that we get our working surface. Let's take just a moment. While it's doing that there, I am going to go ahead and nip the screen share here for just a moment. That way you guys can see the Omni doing its thing. And we'll check on the chat. Where are we at here? How are lenticular prints done? High Life Music, stay tuned. We're going to do that one tomorrow night. Lenticulars, we will bring that one tomorrow night. I've got some testing that I still want to do with that before we actually show that stuff here. Can you flip the order of layers when printing, like printing an image face down on acrylic, flip it over, have the photo behind the glass? You can set layers any which way that you guys want. You can set that all up. Totally capable. Tom, how are you? What other objects can you use a rotary with? Tumblers, ornaments, anything cylindrical, whatever you put your mind to, stuff like that. Totally capable. New to this, can you print on golf balls? Yes, absolutely. I mean, ideally with a jig of some sort. That way it's, secured. Jesse J, this is the duel. What happens if the O1 or apparel printer gets disconnected from power? Does ink seize up and clog? Well, to be fair, they're designed to wet cap themselves. Okay. The apparel printer, the official rule of thumb there is that it is okay for 24 hours in emergency. I'm assuming that this will be relatively very much the same and or very close to that. I'm sure that we will get the official technical guides on that as they come down the road here. I advise that everybody, guys, get an APC. It is the cheapest insurance possible for these machines. Just get an APC for battery backup purposes. APC, Jackery, whatever you want to get. You are amazing. Wow, where have you been all my life? Right here. Guys, while I'm running through these comments and that's doing its thing, I'll put that graphic back up. Let's go back over here. What would happen if I printed on the back of a K9 like you did, but then added Jesus to the front as well? I mean, depends how you want to set it up. I really don't 100% know on that because if you print the back, you print the front. I mean, yeah, you can look in from the sides, but maybe you can even print 3 sides to do something multi-dimensional. Again, just got to play around with it. How long did that picture on acrylic take? That one that I showed, I think it was like 28 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Wasn't anything too crazy. So, do I have a reliable source for lenticular sheets and blanks? There will be a xTool selected material, so you'll be able to get that through their site. Let's see. And can all the machines do lenticular or just a dual head? I am new and I don't know how they are made. To my knowledge, because it works with the resins, you should be able to with all of them. I'm going to test the theory. I mean, we have the dual, obviously. I'm going to test the theory, but I'll ask one of my counterparts that has the UV and DT to see if they can run a test on that, so I can answer your guys' question on that tomorrow. Just bought the M2. Super excited. We'll be buying the Wonder Press and also the apparel printer. Awesome. Amazing, Tyson. Good. You will definitely enjoy all of them. Do I have a DTG example on a dark shirt? No, I do not. I do not have the DT model. Eventually, somebody will probably do a live with the DT model, but I do not have a DT model. No, I have a DT on a canvas tote bag of some sort, but it is a lighter color. But I mean, guys, even the DT stuff, even if it's on a darker surface, you could still command the machine to give you a white laydown, before you would actually get, the color laydown. So, you can get vividness out of the darker stuff. There's no reason why you can't. So, let's see here. Do you think it'll be possible to take off the side panels, the small ones, and print on? Are you talking about the side panels on the machine, not Fridge OS? Because if you are, I mean, it's probably not advisable by xTool, but it's a hard surface. I wouldn't see why not. I'm not advising it, but what you do with your machine is on you. Let me see. Is there a jig to print on a shot glass? I am very much sure that there will be one developed. Do you have an example to show what DTG looks like on a dark shirt? No, I do not. Can I show the crystal I just got here? If you're talking about the crystals, like the K9 crystals and stuff like that, here's 2 that have been done on the machine. Got this one here. Focuses. All right, you can kind of see from the top here too. I have them capped with black on the back. That's just me. You can cap them any which way that you possibly want. Again, this one is inner engraved with my daughter. It was just one I was playing around with here. She probably could have made her smaller on that, but I got Cinderella's castle in the background there. Really, really nice block. Again, capped with black. You still have all that nice, beautiful color clarity in there. So, got that stuff. All right, let's work on getting another print going here, guys. Oh, and you know what? While I have you guys on that, again, take a look at that QR code. I'm going to hide that here for a moment, and let's bring up some of the other stuff. Okay, guys, so again, this is all of your innovations that's capable from the Omni printer. So, of course, the DTG end of things with the UV and the DT. They're calling this embroidery sync mode. So basically, I'm assuming that there will be a workflow that will be done with, I believe, what they're calling the SE1, which will be their embroidery machine, and then also with the Omni as well. To be able to, kind of couple that whole workflow. Pixel scan precision, so the bed scanning. The bed scanning is actually insanely accurate. I did test this the other day on one of my own lines that I did. Sorry if you guys hear beeping in the background. It's a 3D printer. Tested on one of my labs that I had done the other day on my own, and in a manual print-to-cut workflow, the pixel scan camera versus what I did on the bed of the P3 was just utterly, insanely accurate. Like, really good. So it was really cool. So, let's see here. Sorry, guys, 1 second. And then, so yeah, again, cross-device or synergy. So what they're calling, shaping with the laser, coloring with the O1, vice versa, print cut, whatever you want to call it. The laminator and the roll feeder, again, all of the Omni machines will be capable of working with the laminator and the roll feeder. The dual will probably be your most efficient as far as speed and stuff goes. The 3D rotary preview, again, between the scanning and the modeling and stuff like that, the OR1 is a smart rotary and works very, 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 very well. Let's see, clog-free vacation mode. We did talk about that earlier. So again, the whiting circulation, whiting stirring, stuff like that. The maintenance of the print heads. The machine's going to do it all for you guys. We're playing with the AI features also, as you can see. So you got the one-click stuff. This talks about the circulation system and the whiting stirring. So again, it definitely takes care of it to prevent, settling and clogging and drying, stuff like that. Keeps those print heads hydrated and clean as well. So, it's not a machine you have to print on every day. And that is, a huge selling point, especially for me, because of how much that we actually travel. So definitely, something to really, really, really consider for sure. Let's see here. Oh, also, nice little touch here, guys. So, the squad program as well. So, if you're not familiar with that program specifically, that gives you direct access to, demo rooms, demo hosts, service stations, pro hubs as well. And that allows you to be able to obviously take care of getting your machine or demonstrations, pre-sales demos, your pre-sales demos before you actually buy, your ability to get service when you need it, repairs and service, stuff like that, material testing, skills training, for sure. So there is a multitude of hosts that are out there that do this. I believe over 800, myself being one of them, and I'm sure that some of you guys are also here with us as well. But definitely is a program, one, to look into, if you have interest in supporting that program and that initiative, which, if you choose, so you can always reach out to me, or xTool. We'd be happy to, set you guys up there. Or two, just, get, some of that, maybe additional skills training that you may need, and or repairs or service, commissioning services based upon, depending on what machines and stuff that you buy, stuff like that, so on and so forth, something you can actually get through that particular program. You know, xTool strategy as far as like printing and stuff goes. We got Bev on there. The O1 itself is obviously going to be part of the printing line. Is part of the printing line. But this does talk about the actual like apparel printer itself, usage to date based on some of the data that's come off of it. And these are successful use cases, successful use hours, 197,685 hours of machine runtime. I'm sure that the Omni will be there some point next year. And you got to think the apparel printer's been out for just a fuzz over a year officially in people's places. Here's your UV breakdown between the machines. So we talk about the single UV. That's your entry-level makers. We're going to talk about, your ink channels on there. So you got a CMYK and a white and a varnish. Texture printing. So again, you can do medium texture printing in there, no problem. The soft UV materials, the fluorescence, the DTG, and the DTF, not capable. The UV DTF stickers and foil effects, yes, you definitely need the laminator for sure. Tumblers, obviously the rotary, and that's going to be the same for all of them. Same thing to printing on the roll media, so roll feeder and the laminator. So, in the dual, you're going to pick up that flexible white cartridge, that rigid white cartridge, the flexible yellow and the flexible, or not flexible, yeah, sorry, stumbling on my words, jeez. The fluorescent yellow and the fluorescent red. And then You know, obviously it's going to be your fastest for your texture printing. You're going to be able to work with soft UV materials, stuff like that. And of course, the UV-DT variant of that. So again, that's going to be your, you know, apparel and the rigid materials. So you pick up those DT channels as well. So it also talks about some of the clarity differences here in the O1 Omni versus another popular brand UV printer coming from the original image. So these are, you know, actual result from use case. Also, because there's been a lot of questions about this, this talks about the DTG versus DTF, guys. So basically the O1 Omni for the direct-to-garment versus, we'll say, the apparel printer for direct-to-film printing. Okay, so direct-to-garment, you know, it's just like direct inkjet printing. You do get crispy details and better gradients. Cotton, you know, and its blends is what it's compatible with. Less vibrant, though, in color vibrancy. Will be a definitely a softer design feel. But durability, you know, we're saying, you know, 30 to 50 washes is what's to be expected. Direct to film. So those of you either with the apparel printer or considering the apparel printer, so on and so forth. So of course, you know, we're printing a DTF transfer. It is a heat transfer. So, you know, pressure is obviously very key in that. And of course, you know, transfer time, so on and so forth. Small details may lose adhesion for design complexity. Yes and no. You know, a lot of that is going to be dependent upon the quality of your press, the quality of your transfer, stuff like that. We do lots and lots of DTF transfers with super small details, and we really don't have adhesion issues there. But you know, there's of course is a concern that is out there. And again, all fabrics, all textiles, natural, synthetic, stuff like that. You know, so you definitely pick up all that capability there. Definitely more vibrant. The design feel, you know, they do have it noted here. You know, kind of a plastic feel. Again, I think a lot of that is going to deal with, you know, quality of your press and your pressing method and how you do things. You know, there's different ways and methods of doing DTF, you know, where you can really seriously embed, you know, those pigments into the fibers, you know, a lot deeper. Durability, they're calling it for what is expected 50 to 100 washes. I can confidently tell you out of transfers that I have done on the apparel printer that I have definitely done stress testing on and multi-washing on. I do have some garments that have just a little over 200 washes on them where the transfer is only just now starting to fall apart. Full transparency. So expected 50 to 100, but you know, actual use case may vary. So any questions before we continue, guys? Let me go back and check the chat here. Let me take a peek. Sorry, I'm late. I'm here from Maryland. Hello, welcome. Can all the machines do lenticular, just dual head? Yep. So again, by the varnishes, no problem. How long does machine maintenance kit last? Waste tank and moisture. Subjective to your use, really truthfully. Speaking of 3D printing, can you print round discs and UV onto them? Yes, absolutely. And I mean, you know, again, we literally printed on it, you know, a 3D printed case here earlier today. No problem. This is just, you know, basic PLA, but definitely was able to do it. No problem. Let's see. Particular sessions, which is a pair of scissors. Service center here. Awesome. Dual UV. Yes, it is. Will there be a holographic roll available for the feeder and laminator? Good question. I don't know. I cannot answer that. Will the rule feed laminator and rotary work on all machines? Yes, that is correct. And then can the Omni print direct foil UV resin ink, i.e. gold and silver? No, there is a foiling process. And more to come on that later on down the line, guys. And then we're going to make a quick change here, just because the stained glass, the processing time is just a little bit you know, too high for what I have available tonight. So we'll process that another time, and I'll post pictures on that, guys. If you check out Beth Pennington, or Soul and Grace Designs, she did a beautiful stained glass last night that she had actually posted on her pages a little bit earlier today. So if you want to get a preview there, actually, I might even just pull it up for you guys. I can show you guys. I just don't have a literal ton of time available tonight, but let me see here. I'll pull a picture in for you guys so you guys can see what the stained glass capabilities are, but we're definitely going to print something else for sure. I know it was posted earlier. Let me see here. Let me find it. Let me get another print started for you guys, and then I'll go back and find that here. So I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna put in a piece of black acrylic for now. We'll do that, and then I'll post it up here sometime tomorrow. You guys can find it. You'll be able to find it on the Omni page itself, and or you can look at Forge and Thread Supply Company. You can look me up by name, Richard Giannacora. That's how you can find me on Facebook as well. But we are going to go with, we're going to do direct to acrylic here for now, just for processing time, guys. That way you guys can actually still see this thing in action. We'll do this, and then we will do a tumbler, and we'll probably close out the night with that. So just getting my masking off here real quick. Get this one in the machine. That generation that I did, though, I'll just tab that over. That way we can still print that there, and we'll definitely post that one up here a little bit later. Or, I'm sorry, tomorrow we should say. So, just gonna do a quick wipe to my surface here, just to make sure no impurities. Get really good adhesion. And again, I'm just using 91% isopropyl alcohol. This seems to have worked for most of my use cases here that I've been doing so far. Not saying it's the be-all, end-all. I'm sure there are definitely much better methods and stuff out there. But for all intents and purposes, it works. Now, why do we lose it? We lost the screen. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys. What is going on? Ah. Can you guys hear me? Jeez. All kinds of technical difficulties tonight. I don't know what's going on over here. This is definitely bothering me a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. What I was saying was, as I had looked over, I seen a black screen and went, "Oh, hey, something's wrong." The stained glass one that I have set up on the generator, I'm gonna save that. I'll run that here later tonight or tomorrow. We'll post that one up for you guys. Just for time purposes, I'm going to do a flat print here for sure. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Sorry about that. Definitely is a Sunday night for sure. Abby, have I done stainless steel yet? No, I haven't. I did cut some blanks on my metal fab earlier today that I'm going to play with here this week. For sure, we'll also post those ones up too. Maybe I might do it for tomorrow. We'll see. I got a pretty busy day tomorrow. Everyone hit that like button to support Rich. Too old to do this. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate your guys' support. Again, you guys can follow me, through xTool, my Facebook, personally, Rich Giannacora, Forge and Thread Supply Company, Facebook, YouTube. And then, of course, there are groups out there also for the Omni as well. Omni Printer makers and users. Okay, cool. All right, guys, let me change out this design here on Studio. We're going to go to another tab, and then let me share my screen here. That way we can look at the workflow together. And I appreciate your guys' flexibility. Let's get rid of that infinity screen. And oh, come on. Sorry, guys. 1 second. This is not being nice tonight. What is going on? Share window. This window. Okay. There's Studio. I'll make that bigger for you guys. Let's take that graphic out of there for a moment. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, we're going to scan here. It's going to go ahead and scan our working surface. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I'm going to use the graphic that I was going to use for the other one, just because I haven't printed this on acrylic yet, and I kind of really like it. So again, just import to your canvas. I'm going to come in as keep size, and then I'm going to go ahead and we will resize this, and we're going to go ahead and let that scan there, and we'll talk about the smart masking once we have that scan there. So it's coming up. Going to take the height. That camera on for you guys so you can see it's doing its thing. Come back, and then we're going to scan the surface, and we'll get that scan into Studio. Okay. What happened to the black wall? They're going to prepare it to print. Yep, I got it sitting right here. I'm going to do it after this one. I wanted to get a really nice, vivid graphic in there for you guys. We'll do it. So we're going to run this, and then we'll probably do the wallet. We'll probably do a tumbler before the wallet, or do the wall before tumbler, 1 and 2. But I know you guys want to see a tumbler, so we'll definitely make sure that we do that as well. Okay, so we got our scan. All right, there we go. So we have our working surface. So guys, smart masking feature, super cool. Come right over here, go into smart mask. We're going to be looking for the subject. So we're going to be running that extraction. It's going to go ahead and essentially box in that piece of acrylic here for us. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit apply. So we know that is our working area. And so for example, that acrylic is 12 by 12. If I size this at 13, by 13, you can see it's actually going to mask itself off on there, which is really nice. That way you don't have to worry about any overspray, any issues, stuff like that. So I'm just gonna use my directional keys here just to get where I want to be. Nice and center. Looks like we're just a fuzz under 12 by 12, no problem. And we're gonna let that be a flat print. We're gonna scroll down here just a little bit. And because I'm on black and I want to cover that up, I'm just going to run that with 2 layers of white there. And we'll run 2 layers of color. We're going to let that work with the rigid white just because we are on that hardened acrylic. Not going to put any resin over it. We'll see what the processing time is on that, just for sample purposes. We might tweak that. See what it says. Maybe even thought about putting fluorescence on it too. Maybe. We'll see what that process time looks like. I'll tell you what, let's just go 1 and 1 for what we're going to do. Still be beautiful, though. And let's see. Do I want to do any of that? Maybe. Let's see. I've been playing with a lot of stuff with the fluorescence too. Now we're going to save that for another time later, but we're just going to go 1 and 1 for this for all intents and purposes here, guys. It's going to process that image for us here. We'll get our processing time. And then we do have the cost calculator that is built into the program. I did some math earlier and got some values input that should give us really close, cost figures here. I know that, they were all showing zeros over the last 3 nights when Beth was doing her thing. But I sat down, did some math today to figure out, actual ink costs. Because I had to, do the math to break it down, or the ratios for 500 milliliters, because that's the way that the software is built, essentially kind of based on, the AP, cost calculator there. I think they just carried it over for the Omni, which is still really good to have. But I had to do the math on it. So I'll do that here 1 second. This finishes our image process. Obviously, this is a very abstract image. It just takes a moment. Okay, 29 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm good with that for you guys. So we can do a whole live Q&A here and talk about some other things. Cost calculator here. Like I said, I did input those values in. Now, I've since restarted my test version of Studio since earlier, so I'm not sure if it actually held it. We'll find out here in just a moment. And you would not have to input any of this stuff whatsoever on your guys' ends once this actually goes live. This is, just kind of for us to, work with and, submit improvements and problems and stuff like that. That way, whenever, you guys actually do receive your machines, that everything is good and ready to go, hopefully flawlessly. So we'll see that here in just a second or two or three, four. It will be a lot faster in the final version. I could promise you guys. I can tell you for the one for the AP, literally I could snap a finger and it's there. But I know there's been a lot of questions about costs over the last couple of nights. Okay, it kept my figures, so it'll tell us, all your ink usages and stuff, guys. This particular print here with 1 coat of white going down and the 1 coat of color going down, our total cost is 53.52 cents. So 53 cents. You know, I really truthfully don't know a market price on that. If you go to a show or something, maybe 20 bucks at the size that it is. It'll be a beautiful print though. So we're gonna hit print on that. We're gonna let our heads heat up. So our heads do have to be at a certain temperature before it will actually start printing. That way the ink cures properly with the UV lamp. Studio is really smart with this because as you're sitting there and you're processing your canvas and getting everything ready to go, the machine will come out of sleep mode and go into working mode and go ahead and start heating those heads for you. Now, it typically is very fast. Where I have mine positioned right now, I do have a mini split that is literally like blowing right down on it at the moment. So it just takes a teeny bit longer for me. But that is going to go ahead and start processing here momentarily. But guys, actual use cost there for this particular print, 53 cents. I mean, that's just really, really, really good. So we're gonna go ahead and that down there. Let me double check on the commentary here while that is doing its thing. Also, I heard you will need a evaporative humidifier. Any printers like humidity. You don't want to be in a very dry environment, especially with the apparel printer and, of course, the UV printer. Evaporative is the key word, guys. Do not buy an ultrasonic mister. Do not buy a mister. Don't buy anything like that. It needs to be an evaporative humidifier. It's sensitive electronics, guys. You don't want to ruin them. Let's see here. Somebody asked about financing. Yes, there are multiple financing options that are available out there. So you have Affirm, which has been a lot of 0% approvals lately, guys. If you got pretty decent credit, Affirm is a soft credit check. You may want to check into that option for sure. But lots and lots of 0% approvals out there lately. I've seen them anywhere from 12 to 24 months. So definitely something to look into. Again, soft credit check doesn't leave any marks on your report whatsoever. It's worth looking into if you don't want to come out of pocket, all that money right now. Dees Huntley, yes, this is the new machine. This is the O1 Omni, as you saw in the ads. Do we know if we're going to be able to use roll feed for the normal DTF, not UV DTF? No, negative. Because you need to cure it, and that would only be on the UV DT option. I think the single head model is around $16.99, runs up to around 4K if you're looking at the dual model or DTG DTF model with a bundle like diverter and a laminator roll holder. Yes, that is correct. Peach, hello, how are you? Good to have you here tonight. We are getting ready to rock and roll on this. Let me double check on Studio. Yep, our heads are just about where we need to be. So it will go ahead and start printing on its own. No other button pushes that I need to do whatsoever. Guys, well, that's coming up here. If you're just joining us here, or if you haven't done it already, and or if you want to enter more than once, go for it. QR code right there to win a set of ink for this particular printer. There'll be 3 of you guys that will win that. And that's taken care of here within 48 hours of the actual live. So definitely scan that QR code. Looks like we're going to be starting up right now. And we have it set for 1 layer white, 1 layer color. So 27 minutes. All right, guys. live Q&A. Drop it in the comments. Anything you guys want to know about the Omni. Let's go ahead and let's do this. We're going to get lots and lots of good commentary here. So we are currently printing. I don't care if the comments go over my face, but if there's questions that may spur some other questions out there, guys. So, all right, let's do this. Q&A time. Drop it. Let's talk about it, guys. Anything you guys want to know on the Omni or any of the xTool machines? Now's your chance. Let's go ahead and do it. We got about 28 minutes or so here. Getting a really, really, really nice, beautiful white laydown though going down right now here on that piece of acrylic, guys. Peach, just FYI, everyone, I've seen this machine and it's amazing. It was nice seeing you yesterday. Absolutely nice seeing you yesterday. Jennifer, thank you for hanging out with us on a Sunday. Totally missed Bev the past few nights. I'm glad I caught a live. Jennifer, you can go back and catch those lives. They'll be on xTool's YouTube channel and their Facebook channel. Bev had 3 continuous nights of just great lives. Tons of information that she done. Tons of live demos, stuff like that. Did a really, really, really fantastic job. So... guys, I don't know. I guess my camera's chopping out on the frames per second a little bit there, but I promise you the UV does not stutter. It is a very smooth going machine there. So just in case there, if my OBSBot is not doing what it needs to be doing. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to have you here. Nice Penguini. Do I need the humidifier if I'm printing in my house? Again, printers love humidity. It doesn't matter if you're in your house, your shop, your garage, your basement, your bedroom, your bathroom, wherever you're printing. You should have an evaporative humidifier of some sort. Not saying you have to run them full time, but you don't want to be in super low humidity cases either. When is the AB film going to be released? I don't have any answer on that right now, Peach. xTool will definitely make sure that that's available once those things are out there. What if you want to print large objects? Can the software automatically divide an image over multiple print surfaces? Spencer, that is a great question. If it follows typical xTool fashion, I'm sure that there is tiling that can be done, but we don't have that right now. But I mean, with the scan camera, even if you have to manually break up, and how insanely accurate that it is, I wouldn't see that being any issue whatsoever. Let's see. Can you UV sticker laminate without the roller? I do not believe so. Does gold and silver acrylic reflect too much to print on? You know what? I don't know. Haven't tried it. I'm sure with a proper surface prep, you probably would be just fine. Put that on my notes here. Let's see if I can get some. Gold and silver acrylic. Okay. All right. All right. Danielle, maintenance on the machine. Pretty much, and I always like to use the words almost autonomous because there still is a human intervention that you do need to do with this in terms of checking and cleaning around your ink pads and your wipers and stuff like that, and then of course a changeable waste tank and of course your moisturizing liquid tanks as well. If you guys go back in, I believe it was either I want to say it was Thursday nights live, maybe Fridays, Thursday nights, one of the two. Bev did a nice rundown of how to actually do a proper machine cleaning and all that stuff with it, and she's probably one of the best people to get that from right now because she was one of the extended beta testers from start to finish, so she's been in it. I've had my hands operating in this machine now for over 10 hours of operating time, and I've actually been online and playing with it and doing different things with the software and stuff for about 70. But she's going to be the best person on that. If you go back in the lives, it'll be posted on xTool's YouTube and their Facebook. You'll find that information there for sure. I'm sure as time goes on here and we have it in our hands longer, and I'll get my chance to do my content and stuff with it. We will post that stuff out there. You guys and I have a whole series on the apparel printer as far as maintenance goes, and I'll get it here at some point. The biggest compromise on the UV and DT version, can you still print on items like leather patches or canvas bags, etc.? Yeah, I wouldn't see why not. As far as the biggest compromise goes, I would say is just speed, efficiency, having all those ink channels available to you with the flexible white and the rigid white, and then in addition to the fluorescent channels between the fluorescent yellows and reds. So I would say that really is your compromise right there. Can I please explain the difference between texture and relief? Okay, so from the texture standpoint, the machine is capable of doing texture build, and that is something that can be commanded inside a studio. and you can actually control that thickness of how much, that those layers are going to be built up, so on and so forth. In terms of the relief, I haven't played with it as of yet, so I don't want to give too much commentary on that just yet. I don't want to give you guys bad information. It's something I'm planning on looking into here, either later tonight when I get done here with you guys, and or tomorrow. That way we can bring some more of that information for you guys. But I have on my list right now for tomorrow, obviously the stained glass. I'll run that. We'll post it. Just for timing purposes, I wanted to have something else to show you guys here tonight. Because that is going to be a little bit of a longer thing to be done. But definitely tomorrow. And then I want to play with lenticulars, guys. That way I can give you guys some more information on that stuff tomorrow. What about mirror glass or acrylic surfaces? I'm sure it's capable. I mean, we're printing on black or opaque black acrylic right now. So acrylic is no problem as far as mirror glass and stuff like that. With the proper glass primer, stuff like that, you should be a-okay on that. Do I know how much space you need in front of the Omni while using the laminator and roller? Truthfully, I do not know that exact answer to that. I know that the machine with both of the doors open, front and back, you're looking at about 44 inches. I do have my front door just kind of hanging down a little bit. Not advisable, guys. Definitely don't necessarily want to do this for a full-time case, or full-time use case. But I needed to because I have other projects going on right now for my customers. How long would I say that the ink cartridges last? Bailey, that's going to be very subjective to your uses and what exactly you're putting through here. Bev touched on that in her live last night. I think she has over 800 hours or so of printing time on the machine. I believe that she's put in one full CMYK set and or has changed the rigid and the flex white, I believe, once or twice a piece. And those are bigger cartridges too. But very economical per se in terms of ink usages. Jonas, hello, how are you? Good to have you. Definitely scan the QR code and enter there. You don't want to put your emails in the comments here, guys. You want to do it on that QR code. Why does every preview video shy away from garment printing? I've yet to see anyone DTG print a shirt in real time. Bold Reflections, that is coming. The people that got the DT machines here for launch, they are just starting to finally get them. So you will see those things coming down the road. Bev, in the course of the last 3 nights, she did the dual UV. I'm also doing the dual UV here tonight and tomorrow. I do know that she is getting one of the DT variants, and then a couple of my other counterparts have as well, and are just starting to unbox and test and get themselves familiarized. That way they can bring you guys the appropriate information. So no one's shying away from it. It's just we're not there yet. We're getting there. So that will definitely happen. We can definitely promise you that. How waterproof are prints if you want to use them for outside signage? Should be no issue. Will xTool sell the primer? xTool will have its own primer available. Yes, they have these pre-done packets here that are for glass and ceramics. And of course, if you want to use any additional types of primers and stuff, anything you want to use, whatever you prefer on your own, you surely can. Samuel, sorry, it's the first time that I'm seeing this. You got to remember, I got a comment there that's going a million miles an hour over here on my end. So, you understand flex white. What is the difference between the regular white and the rigid white? Just properties of how that they're made. The rigid white's going to, provide you, for more, I guess stronger surfaces per se, especially for like a texture build standpoint. And same with the regular white. But I would say probably just properties of how it's actually made. I have another UV printer that we deal with that I have 2 whiting channels in there. But those run, just both, regular standard whites full time there. So I would say properties. With the dual, would I be able to at least do on a heavy leather biker jacket on the back with a flex? So, I mean, I've printed to the leatherette with the flex, and I mean, I flexed it around and it's been okay. I'm not sure on like the longevity in terms of any, like, washing or dry cleaning or anything like that. I mean, obviously leather, those are a different, a way to be taken care of. So, I mean, technically, realistically, almost anything is possible. But, again, I mean, I think it's something you probably maybe would want to, maybe test on something that's not a product you're going to be delivering to your customer. Guys, I always tell everybody, test, test, test. You don't want to tell a customer, okay, yes, great, I can do it. Take their product and do it, and then mess it up, and then you have to explain, right? So always test, and that goes for any of the machines, whether it's the AP, the lasers, in this case, the Omni, or really any of your own machines, even if it's non-xTool equipment, guys. If you guys are getting into this, if you're going to be selling product and you're going to be, shipping things out to customers and or taking customer product that they bring to you and doing things, make sure that you test and that you're confident and that what you're doing with it before you actually commit. Because that could really put you into a pretty bad bind. And we'll use those biker jackets, for example. I'm sure that those are very expensive. Is it possible to simply print everything with the flexible white instead of the standard ink? In other words, to use a flexible ink even on hard surfaces? I mean, you can use a flexible ink even on hard surfaces. That's entirely, up to you what you want to use. But I mean, if you're working on hard surfaces, and I mean, if you're in the dual and you have the rigid white available to you, you might as well just use the rigid white. That way you're not chewing up the flexible white. That way you have the flexible white for your flexible stuff. Millen, if the ink cartridges go past date, will the O1 lock you out from using them? That is a great question. I do not have the official answer on that as of yet. But as with any inks, they do have an expiration date. So at some point, yes, they would need to be out of the machine. So I would assume that that's probably a safe thought. But I can't confirm one way or another on that. But you don't want to be using old inks. I mean, you can cause issues with print heads, and it's not worth it. The official DTG parameters, you can find that under the product listing. I don't have that exact information on hand right this second. What other objects can use a rotary besides tumblers, round objects, etc.? Yes, you can do it with other round objects. There's other little, locating pins that do come with it, so you can kind of clamp onto some different things. I've seen some videos and stuff with, like, Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. Some of those, more spherical shapes. That truncated cones, single cylinders. Any object. Really, if you could get it on the rotary, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't be able to print on it. Can it print on vinyl sheets? I mean, if you want to make the attempt, I would say go for it. I'm really not sure maybe why you wouldn't be able to. It's just a matter of whether or not the UV ink would actually, stick and cure to it. My counterparts, if you're in here and you have an answer to that, please go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm not 100% confident in saying yes or no, but I've been surprised by some of the things I've been able to print on with this. Can you print onto core flute waterproof corrugated plastic? If you're talking like the Coroplast, like the yard signs and stuff, I mean, those are all UV printed, so I wouldn't see why not. And I mean, technically, most of those are already a white base, so you really probably wouldn't want to use a flex white. I mean, you wouldn't want to waste your white if you have a white surface already, so just food for thought. Chris Crafts, how much of a curve can it handle, such as a hip flask? Great question. I want to put that on my list, because I have a couple here. So let me write that down. Flask. The ones that I have are leather wrapped, but there is curvature to it. So we'll try it. We'll see what it can actually handle. Brandon, make sure you scan the QR code. You can enter there for that. You don't want to leave your email in the comments there. How does it handle a dinner plate-like object where the center is lower than the rim? Can it adjust heights while printing like lasers do? That is not a floating Z-axis, guys. I'm not too sure on that specifically. Probably the best use case on that would be to utilize the UV DTF functions and do those permanent, stickers. I mean, they do hold up very well. I'm going to be honest with you guys, though. UV ink is not food safe. So you don't want to, be using it in applications where food could make contact with it. So, food for thought. You guys got a nice, just beautiful color laydown going down right now. You guys will probably should be able to catch that on the angle of the other camera there as it gets out a little bit further. But our white layer is completely done. Our color layer is going down. We're about halfway in the color layer right now, looking really, really, really good. So, guys, great conversation. Let's continue the commentary. They're happy to answer whatever I can. Can we see the roll feeder being used to print? We do not have it as of yet. That way, we can't show that yet. We don't have it. Now, also, guys, technically, too, while you are printing, you can, in Studio, you can open a tab and you can start preparing your next project and stuff like that. You just won't have your, smart masking features or capabilities because, obviously, bed is in use with another project that is on there, so you're not going to be able to get a scan of anything. But that doesn't mean that you can't start, preparing and playing around with your other projects, too. So, all right, guys, while this is running, we will go ahead. I'm going to cut the chat off here for just a moment. And we'll go back through. If you were just with us. So, a couple things here again. So, just going through the innovations. This will have a workflow, it appears, with the SE1, which is going to be the embroidery machine that xTool totally surprised all of us with on Wednesday Nights Live. Was not expecting it whatsoever. But it looks like there'll be a workflow between the DTG, so the UV and DT variant, plus the embroidery sync mode there. Pixel scan precision. So again, that's talking about the scanning camera that's built into the print carriage here on the machine. I can tell you right now, it is deadly accurate, absolutely accurate. We did test it was a manual print to cut that I did because we don't have the workflow activated yet. But it was a manual print to cut, and I went and I actually had UV printed to a it was an 1/8 inch piece of basswood plywood. Okay, put 4 dots on there, and I took and I put it into my P3 the other night. And what I had done was I purposely only relied on the large bed camera for the P3. Didn't rely on close shot or anything like that, just to see how accurate is bed camera versus the scan camera. And we actually ended up taking that and we had cut it into a puzzle. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know this, little tip, there's a puzzle generator built into Studio in the applications. Works really well, actually. But that's what we did with it the other night. It was absolutely beautiful when it had come out. And as far as the actual, the precision of the cut goes, it was perfect. Literally, it cut that outer border 100% perfect. There was no ink left over on any parts of that plywood. I had no unprinted areas in any parts of that puzzle. So dead accurate. It was amazing. So again, that print and cut capability is going to be really, really, really good once they get the workflow down pat. But even just really quickly throwing it together manually and not really focusing on it, that just tells you how good that those cameras actually are. So, the 3D rotary preview, we'll do that here. We'll do the rotary thing after we do the wallet. We'll close that out with the rotary, but we'll show you guys that. And again, there is a vacation mode. So this is designed to be able to walk away from it for about 2 weeks without issue. I'm sure on an extended time. As long as essentially all variables are perfect, say your waste tank is empty and your moisturizing liquids are full and your capping station was clean before you left and stuff like that, probably can make it a little bit longer. But, if you're going to be gone for a very extended period of time for any reason, guys, it's not a bad idea to have somebody, check on your equipment and or just run, a a quick print or something just to promote, you know, nozzle flow, stuff like that. So here it is for your guys' you know, your white ink maintenance per se. So again, you do have you know, automatic white ink stirring, which, you know, takes care of, you know, avoiding any settling and stuff. White ink circulation to avoid clogging, and of course you have the smart hydration system, which utilizes those moisturizing liquid cartridges to be able to keep those heads either one clean and two flowing. So definitely have that there. You know, looking back at it, again, this is a printer for xTool, but looking at use case based upon the apparel printer that is out there, that has been out there for just a fuzz over a year now at that point, or at this point officially from production standpoint. Use hours, 197,000 plus use hours on that machine flawlessly, guys. So, you know, xTool really does take pride in making these products to be as good as they could possibly be. And, you know, I would assume that, you know, a year from now, probably when we're on another live doing some other stuff, we'll probably see something very similar for the Omni. And, you know, who knows what else is to come, but definitely something to be very proud of from xTool standpoint. So, but again, your differences in your machine capabilities. So your single UV, that's your guys' entry-level makers, and that's just going to be your rigid materials. You know, so CMYK, a white and a varnish, can do some texture build printing as well. Not the best for the soft UVs, not going to get any fluorescence, not going to get any DTG or DTF. Again, you can do the UV DTF stickers and foil effects with the laminator. And of course, your tumblers with the rotary, and of course, works with the roll feeder as well. In the dual UV, that's going to be your guys' premium. So again, that's your advanced effects and your neon, or your fluorescence, I should say. So you're going to get the CMYK, that white and that varnish. Then you're going to get a flexible white, and you're going to get a rigid white. And then you're going to get a fluorescent red and a fluorescent yellow as well. And for the texture printing, that is going to be your absolute fastest. Yeah, so again, two heads running in there. Good on the soft materials. You get the fluorescence out of it. You have all those ink channels completely full. You don't have to worry about changing anything at all in terms of, you know, trying to swap cartridges and stuff. I know that, you know, there was some of that was talked about Wednesday night, that they're looking into it, you know, for being able to swap whites on the single UV head machines. You know, no dead confirmation on that yet, but if they said it and they said it publicly live, it's probably being worked on, truthfully. But if you don't want to go through any of that hassle or mess or having to have to, you know, purge lines, clean lines, all that stuff, even though I'm sure that they'll build a flow into the machine for it, the dual UV is the way to go, guys, really, truthfully. If you have an apparel printer and you are already running DTF, you really truthfully don't need the UV and DT version. I've had so many of my customers that have the apparel printer ask me that, and that is the exact same thing that I've been telling all of them. If you really want the UV and DT version, even if you have the apparel printer, that's totally fine. It's your prerogative. It is what you want. You know, that'll give you the direct garment capabilities and stuff like that. But, you know, if you have an apparel printer and the ability to go and print, you know, any textile that even exists out there, you know, plus woods, and I mean, I've even done it to leatherette and, you know, some other things. Me personally, I don't see that being the realm that, you know, I would want to go with an apparel printer being in my workshop. But again, totally up to you guys. Dual UV, you know, is probably going to be your better option there. Then, of course, the UV and the DT, you know, you get your CMYK ink channels, your white, your varnish. And then, of course, you're going to have your, you know, your DT white, your CMYK there as well. Still can do texture building. You're not going to be able to do your soft UV materials. You're not going to get your fluorescence, but you do pick up that DTG and that single one-off DTF capability. All three of them work with the roll feed and the laminator. All three of them work with the rotary, guys. No problem there whatsoever. Again, use graphic here showing, you know, a original image, the O1 Omni processed image, and then, of course, another popular brand UV printer as well. Final results as you see here. Okay. Again, quick breakdown on your differences between the DTG and DTF. DTG, again, just like direct inkjet printing, you're still going to get crisp details and gradients. You know, you're going to be cotton and its blends of what you're going to be printing on. Not as vibrant. You are going to get a softer feel for sure. Durability is calling 30 to 50 right now. Direct to film. So again, those of you guys that are doing the apparel printer, outsourced transfers, or if you're going to use the UVDT and make the one-off transfers, stuff like that, you know, that is being printing, heat transfer. Design complexity, they have it in your small details may lose adhesion to a point, and a lot of that's going to depend upon your preparation of your graphic, your garment, and how you press and the quality of your press. We do tons and tons of micro details all the time, and we typically don't have any issues in that realm. But again, a lot of it's going to be based upon your workflow and what tools that you're currently working with. Compatibility, again, all textiles, so naturals and synthetics. You're going to get more vibrant colors. Again, design feel for, if they're saying plastic, to a point. Finishing plays a huge part in that. There's so many different ways and techniques of doing different things in different products out there that, kind of change those parameters and stuff. So, again, totally subjective there. Durability, they're saying 50 to 100 washes at minimum. Yes, I have pieces from use case that have been washed over 200 times to where the transfer is actually just starting to finally break down. So definitely food for thought out there. And then lastly, guys, just a quick rundown here on the xTool Squad program. It's an amazing program. Definitely have, multiple hubs and demo rooms across the world here, spread out over multiple nations. In the United States alone, I do believe there's over 800 plus demo hosts. And then some of us are also part of the service station network, so we can handle repairs of service, installations, commissionings, all that stuff. And then, of course, you have your pro hubs, which are your do-it-alls. That is a amazing program. I do, encourage anybody and everybody out there for pre-sales purposes. If you have not bought this machine and you are heavily considering it and you want to do a one-on-one demo, there are hosts out there that you can book these demos with, guys. You can find them xtool.com. Hover over local support at the top of the website, and then you're looking for free product sale demo or free product demo. Again, these are pre-sales only. If you have already purchased, please do not use the product demo tab. It will not work. Okay? Pre-sales only. All right? If you guys have other machines out there and you want to do specialized skills training or any specialized materials testing, stuff like that, that's stuff that you can book in that portal too. But the product demos are pre-sales only. Okay? Awesome. So, with that said, we just finished here, so we'll give you guys a nice little show on that. Took a total of 26 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's go ahead, we'll minimize this. Come up to the camera. That way you guys can see this. So, this is just one white, one color. Opaque, black, acrylic. Okay. Absolutely beautiful. Vibrancy is just gorgeous. So much to see here, guys. Again, this is just artificial lighting down on it right now. Okay. But absolutely gorgeous. Let me know what you think in the comments on that. Again, this is 1/8 inch opaque black acrylic here. Another nice, beautiful print by the Omni. And put it with the other one that we had showed you guys earlier here as well. So really, really showcasing what this machine is capable of, even in just a single layer of white and a single layer of color on opaque black acrylic. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And could you see yourself doing stuff like that? Alrighty. This one in here. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to prepare our next project. So I'm going to take wallet and we're going to put it in here. Now, guys, this has a little clip on it, okay? So it's going to kind of sit kind of a little elevated here, right? So either A, we could put something back here to kind of compensate for that, or B, let's find out how good the focus of the machine is. So I'll pop that in there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and in Studio, we're going to run a scan. And let's see what we get. And while we're getting that scan, we'll check your guys' comments here. Okay. Jose, I have an AP in order the dual UV. Awesome. You will definitely love it. Erica, please make sure that you do utilize the QR code. I'll put that up here for you. That's where you can enter for the ink sets. So there's your QR code right there. Definitely make sure that you do utilize that. Let's see. Can we see a sample of using the printer and a laser cutter for a single project? Spencer, I'll do that tomorrow. Come back tomorrow night. We'll probably do it with the basswood plywood. I'll do the whole puzzle thing probably like I did the other night but you know, on the xTool Live. So definitely come back tomorrow night. Melania, please definitely make sure you drop your email on the QR code. Scan it with your phone. Okay. Yes, guys, it definitely was beautiful. Thank you so much. Love the commentary. Brandon, awesome. Glad to hear that. You will definitely enjoy this machine for sure. Let's see. I will buy the dual head Omni printer. It includes all the color set and the maintenance liquid, or sold separately. So, guys, any of the machines that you guys get, your entire starter set of inks and all that stuff, including your maintenance tanks and all that, you're going to get it with it. Your ink sets, they're full. They're not sample cartridges. They're full. So you're going to get that with them. Okay. All right, Melissa, definitely make sure you guys scan the QR code there. Angeline Langston, could I add fluorescent to an image that's already done? Like, could you put what you just printed back in the Omni, select spots to lay fluorescent? I mean, if your alignment's really good, and you probably could take and put the regular image back on the canvas and then put spot coloring in there and then just shut the output on the original image, possibly. That's a great question, honestly. Can't give you the dead answer to that right now. But I mean, it could be possible. So, let's see, Rich, does this engrave also? I saw a video that looked like it could make a challenge coin. No, this will not do any terms of laser engrave or any form of laser engraving whatsoever, guys. Plenty of other machines in the xTool ecosystem that'll do all that stuff. Now, who's to say that you don't do any laser engraving on some things and then bring it to the Omni to do your final printing and stuff like that? You know, so different use cases there for sure. Will it work with the P2S or just P3? So the print and cut workflows has been expanded. So the P2 or the P2S, sorry, the P2S is definitely included in that listing. Zixer, I have no commentary on any other brands. Please don't spam my live. Thank you. Let's see. Reinforces I made the right choice. Ordered the dual UV largest bundle. So excited for it to arrive. Awesome. You're going to love it, April. Charisse, remember you can't upgrade machines. So at the end, buy the dual. Depending upon what you want to do and what your budget and stuff is. But the best of the best, guys, the dual, in my opinion, especially if you already have a apparel printer. Milan, yes, this is the dual. Jesse J, how long is ink shelf life? I believe the official answer on that is 12 months. Castile, I can't answer that, bud. Sorry. That's not a question that I can answer, nor can be done on a Facebook Live, man. Don't post that stuff, please. Abby, thank you. If we paid the $50 reservation fee, how do we get the coupons for discounted ink? So those will be sent to you via email upon your machine shipping and or delivering. I forget exactly which way that they had said that, but you will receive that via email. Melania, amazing. Lee, P3, yes, print and cut workflows for sure. P2, I don't 100% recall seeing that in the listing, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. You can set it up manually very easily. I did it the other night and purposely tried it with the P3, no problem. And I did it manually. So if I could do it in the P3, you could definitely do it in the P2. You might just utilize your close shot camera. Like I said, I didn't see it on the workflow, but I could have, you know, overlooked that. So let's see here. How does EV ink do outside on tile or slate? Great question. In terms of longevity, I mean, I would, you know, say that it probably would be, you know, decent. As far as, you know, like extended time out there, not 100% too sure an answer on that. Let's see. Server with a noble calls. My wife and I got a dual and a DT. We're both excited but nervous about the heads being expensive replacements after 6 months. So again, you know, it's going to be dependent upon your use, what you're doing, so on and so forth. As long as you're maintaining your machine, you know, you definitely get some longevity out of your heads. Print heads, you're $3.99 right now. So I mean, really, truthfully, not overly that bad. They are a consumable item. They are something that you definitely, you know, would have to replace down the line for sure. So definitely want to follow, you know, your maintenance guides and stuff like that. So skipping that comment for sure. I think they plan to add more machines by shipping dates. Yes, so xTool is doing anything that they possibly can to make sure that they can get these out the door to you guys as fast as possible. You know, they're these new product launch rollouts. You know, they do ship in the order in which the payment was received for the machines. You know, so they're going to do everything in their will to get that out there for you guys. So let's go ahead and do this wallet, guys. Let's see. So let me get Studio back up here. I'm going to take that graphic away. We're going to cut the chat away here too. Okay. All right. So let's refresh. All right. Got a wallet here. We're going to zoom in. Let's put the xTool logo on there because why not? Let's bring this in. Let's make it just a bit smaller. Oop. Sorry, wrong button. Keypad's getting after me. So now, as you can see, did pretty much get almost an auto snap to center. Of course, micro adjustments you can make, with your keys. Like I said, the scanning camera is definitely very, very good on this machine. Let's just make it an even 3 inches wide, huh? Set it where we want to go. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the fluorescence because why not? So let's do... Let's go white in color. And because we're going black, I'm going to go with 2 white. I'm going to go 2 color just because. And let's do white color and fluorescent yellow. So we're going to 2 white, 2 color, and 2 of the fluorescence, guys. Process. 6 minutes, 43 seconds to do it all. And print. Task is created. And she will be ready to rock and roll. Here we go. We're going to find out on the focusing with that slight little tilt on the wallet there. This would be a great use case for a jig of some sort. So definitely something to consider there. Reichland, what projects have you tested and they failed? Why did they fail and were able to correct the next time? So doing a lot of the experimenting with the rigid whites and the flex whites, playing with tumblers and stuff like that. UV printed tumblers is not something that I've dealt with before, so it was a learning curve for me to get that stuff figured out. Didn't really, overly waste anything. I purposely keep kind of, junky things to kind of play with there. So can't say that it's overly been like any. I haven't had to like trash anything per se, but again, just learning along the way. So that's probably been about the thing I've had, probably a little bit of difficulty with. I mean, the OR1 rotary makes it really easy, to work with, but it, just kind of figuring out, the proper inking and stuff like that. Do I run a humidifier in my area? Yes, we do. We do run an evaporative humidifier. It is sized at 6 times our space, but we do have multiple apparel printers in here plus this now. Guys, thank you for the good commentary. I do appreciate it. Difference between the fluorescence and the normals, it's simply that, the fluorescence. So basically, I'm doing a fluorescent layer over there. It definitely is a brighter color gamut, but we're going to put a black light on it, kind of like we did on our case here earlier, whenever it's done here. So what's really be nice is that, it'll appear as, it's normal graphic, right? And then, got that fluorescent layer on top of it. So right now I'm doing the xTool logo on a knockoff Ridge wallet, as I call it. So yeah. Got the UV and DT fabric edition. Don't have a fabric printer, so I think I got the right one. Did I? I mean, if you want to get into light use case for, doing direct to garment and or single one-off DTF transfers and stuff like that, that would be the perfect solution for you, Dan. Barbie, going to be my first xTool product. What's the benefit of using a jig? Well, I mean, jigs and fixtures, they have their place for, alignment. Of course, running, if you want to run multiple things, make your batch processing for you a little bit easier, so on and so forth. That would be the benefits of doing that stuff. I am very much positive and sure that, we will probably see batch fill functions with this since we have that scanning camera as well. So not saying that they're required, but there could be some benefits to just making your life a little bit easier. Let's see. Hi, Rich. I made the pre-order for the UV plus DT. It's my first printer, but to be honest, I don't know if it was the best option for the dual UV. I really just wanted the best. What do you think? I'm probably not saying this right, so I'm just going to go with Ruiz. To be 100% transparent with you, it really depends on what your use case is going to be. If you decide, here, let me see here. Can I bring myself back in here? Sorry, guys. Try and pop those out. All right. It really depends on what your use case is. So if you want to be able to do light direct to garment printing and, have the ability to do single one-off DTF transfers and, stuff like that, you made a good choice. If you, really want to get into playing with like the fluorescent inks and, stuff like that, or be able to really maximize your speed in terms of like texture builds and, whatnot, having access to both rigid white and flexible white ink channels all at the same time without having to have to change anything in the machine, purge lines, do anything like that, then the dual UV would be the better option for that. So it really just depends. If you, like I said, if you don't have the apparel printer and you're not considering getting the apparel printer and you want to have the ability to be able to do light, fabric work and stuff like that, you made a good choice. TCJ Crafts, can you drain ink for a longer period of time than the 2-week vacation mode? I don't have an answer to that. I can try to get the answer to that and or possibly bring that back here for tomorrow. I don't have an official answer on that right now. Kadisha Allen, what machine would you recommend for a first timer? Well, that is a very loaded question. It really depends. So, for the desktop standpoint, this is the first desktop UV printer that we've played with. This is the dual variant, of course. To be able to use it, honestly, it's super easy. All three of them are going to be very easy to learn. UV printing is going to have a light learning curve for, most people that have never done it before. You're learning, how to properly, prime surfaces, how to promote surfaces, how to be able to, print to certain surfaces. What can you print to? What can't you print to? Longevity, the differences in, using flexible inks, rigid inks, in this case, the fluorescence, stuff like that. All different ways and means of doing things. It's just really comes down to what all that you want to do with it. They're easy machines to learn. Any of the xTool machines in the xTool ecosystem have been incredibly easy, and they make it really, really, really simple for you guys. So if you want to be able to have access to doing pretty much everything and not have to, and you don't want to deal with anything like garment-wise, then the dual would be the way to go. If it's a budgetary thing and you want to enter into the UV world and see if it's completely right for you, then the single. If you don't want to look at, say like the apparel printer, or you're not very heavy in the apparel end of things and you just want to be able to do some light fabrics and still have access to UV printing, then maybe the UV and DT. Totally up to you. So, Paul, thank you so much for that. Yes, 45 to 60% humidity is a good spot for printing. It does keep the inks from drying weird and helps prevent static buildup. That is correct. Printers love humidity, guys. So definitely want to have some decent humidity in your environment. Is there a grid on the mat for making sure your material is square? Yes, there is a grid on the mat. Plus, you also have access to that scanning camera as well. So that'll help you with your placement and stuff like that. Of course, if you decide you want to do any jigs or anything like that, something you could totally do with this machine. So, all right, guys, we have fluorescent on a wallet on the xTool logo. Okay, let me grab blacklight. Where did I set that? Aha. There we go. Let's make it nice and dark. You guys can really see just how bright the fluorescents are. The camera wants to focus. Maybe. Possibly. There you go. That is your fluorescent on the xTool logo in its glory. That is utterly amazing, guys. Absolutely love the fact that we could do the fluorescence on this machine and do it well. So that was on a wallet. If you missed it earlier, I do have a nice little case, 3D printed case here that I did for my P3 lenses, where I just literally did the fluorescent on P3 lenses as well. So, you know, fluorescents work on multiple surfaces, guys, not just specific ones. So, turn that back on. I keep that off too long. I'm going to be falling asleep on you guys. So there's a wallet there. What do you guys think on that? Pretty cool, huh? Drink of water, and the last thing we're going to do is a tumbler. Thoughts, questions, comments, guys? Have I tried any phone cases? Personalization. How do you think it behaves in the flexible surfaces overall? Yes, we have. I got a sample of one right here. This was done in flexible white. Move it around. All I want. No issue. So, definitely able to be done. Again, even in a single UV, you can do this stuff too. I'm sure that it would be more than fine, because you got to think that you're really not flexing these all that much, guys. Once it's on the device, it's on the device and typically stays on until you either pull it off or you trash it. One of the two. Does the M2 also print besides laser cut and engrave? Trying to figure out what's the right one for me. So the M2 has the ability to do printing, but it is just an inkjet CMYK. It is not a ultraviolet resin cured ink, anything like that. It's just a CMYK inkjet, regular like inkjet. Think of like an inkjet printer. Is there replacement sticky pads? Yes, there will be replacement sticky pads, of course. Yes, Barbie, thank you. Definitely did look cool. Yes, there was no distortion in height. Definitely had great fluorescence, guys. You know, so even just that light little, you know, deviation here where it was just sitting on this ever so slight little kick did not impact that print quality whatsoever. Dan, I'm in Florida, plenty of you. I grew up down there, buddy. I know. I get it. And yes, 3D printers do not like humidity. There are definitely brands out there that have these nice, beautiful automated feeders that will self-heat and keep your filaments dry. Gotta love it. When you do the tumbler, can you show us? Yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely. We're going to show a setup of it. Of course. That's going to be the last thing we're going to do tonight, though, because we are closing in on 11 p.m. Eastern time here, guys. Alrighty. Let's get you guys changed. Height, 24, 26 inches height-wise overall. Casing, that is. So, all right, guys, let's do a tumbler. So, very easy. Hit our button, bed comes out. 2 handles, pops that right out. Okay. Set that aside. And we're going to grab our OR1 rotary. So again, just magnetic, slips right in there. Okay. Studio is going to detect that that is in there. As soon as I bring that screen back up, it'll update. So it's going to detect that that is in there. Okay. And we're going to take a handy dandy polar camel tumbler. So that's what I'm working with tonight. Now, I will tell you guys, full transparency. Okay. This is a tester. This is junk. Okay. But I'm just showing you guys this. All right. Yeti cups, for example. Okay. Where you have these logos here, and really any of them that have any logo. So Yeti, Stanley, whatever. Okay. When we run the modeling in Studio, you have the ability that you can check a box that will say scan for alignment assistance. Okay. So that will actually, you know, take a picture of everything on the cup, as well as all your logos and all that stuff. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the OR1 rotary, when it is on the machine, the chuck is technically energized. So you don't want to be trying to rotate that around on there. Okay. So what I'm telling everybody is that make sure that when you put your cups on there, if you are planning on aligning on a logo dead center, try to have your logo at top dead center. Okay. So, for example, you know, if you guys have some form of a laser for alignment purposes, okay, and if you some of you guys probably recognize this. This is the green beam laser from the RA2 Pro Accessories kit, okay? You can make use of this. If you're like me, you can do things like this so that you can utilize it as an alignment tool on top of your rotary. So I have it set to where I can drop this up top here and use my laser, okay? This is a great idea, guys, honestly, to be able to, center my logo there on here. So I can essentially take and put this in the rotary, okay? Open my chuck, all right? And now I know that my Yeti logo is top dead center here. I don't want to be trying to rotate this while this is on here and energized, okay? If you pull this off, you can freely spin this, okay? It's not like the RA3 where you can move it around every which way possible before you start processing, all right? So just be mindful because this is a smart rotary, okay? It will auto position, auto level, accommodate for your tapers, all that stuff. So just taking that extra initiative to make sure that you're set, that way you're not causing any other issues, is well worth its weight in gold, and it's going to save you a huge headache, okay? Tonight, though, we're working with a polar camel, so I don't need to really worry about alignment too much, okay? But, just kind of thinking ahead here, this is a possible option, okay? Very smart option. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, being that the polar camels don't necessarily have a logo I have to worry about, okay, I don't have to worry about doing no alignment. I'm going to take some 91% isopropyl alcohol here real quick on a microfiber, okay, and I'm going to wipe down my surface, okay, that I'm going to be printing to. I'm not doing a full wrap. We're just going to put a logo. Okay, and let that dry. Take that Yeti out of there. Totally forgot about it. So flip right over. You want to, if you can, you want to try to have your cup up against these rollers up here, okay? We're going to open up our jaw chuck here. We're set, okay? You hit this button. Machine's going to take the rotary in, all right? And we're going to go ahead and we will set up in Studio to do our modeling. While it's doing that, we will check your guys' comments. As you can see, rotary attachment has been detected. So we're going to switch. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit modeling. And we're going to say that we are on a truncated cone because technically there is a taper. And I'm going to show you guys how the scanning the object surface for alignment assistance works on this. And I'm actually going to I'll put a mark on there. That way we actually can see. If I wanted to work off of that line, I could. I need something that you guys can be able to see on there. I'm going to try a dry erase marker. So I'm just going to put a really random mark, we'll say right here, okay? So when we do the scanning on the modeling, we'll be able to see that pop up, okay? So we're going to hit start modeling, and that's going to go ahead and do its thing. So while it's doing that, I'm going to check your guys' comments here. Scroll up. Okay. Real question. If I was to purchase two machines, dual A and dual B, do I get a free sewing machine? No. Sorry. It's not even out to the market yet, guys. Does it alert you to low ink and how long to get ink delivered? It will alert you to low ink for sure. No problem there. And there's a whole device health menu in Studio where you can always check everything as well. And then, of course, before you start processing, you'll see all your ink levels and all that too. So, Sharice, thank you so much for the great comment. I do appreciate that. We try. Barbie, I got the dual because the option with the flexible white and fluorescent inks looks so cool. Yes, it is awesome. Kirk, this is not a laser. This is the the O1 Omni UV printer from xTool. Just officially released to market on Wednesday last week. Yes, very user-friendly, Charisse. Susan, you mentioned having a 3D printer going in the background. How do you manage balancing higher humidity for the Omni and other printers and 3D printers that don't like humidity? My particular 3D printer that I 3D print with has the capability to auto dry its filament and maintain that humidity on that. That laser was a great toy. Wish the RA3 had one. Hey, if you have it and you have access to a 3D printer, there are things out there that you can do to still use that laser on the RA3. Trust me. I want to set up in my garage. Is this something you would recommend? I'm up north and it gets cold. Well, I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm in a garage. It gets really cold here too. We do have an insulated door. Our entire shop, our garage and shop is completely insulated in here. So we do maintain those temperatures, but we also do have a full HVAC system running too. So, you want to try to keep, at a proper ambient temperature for this machine. And I would say, really truthfully, guys, we're usually consistently about 68 to 70 degrees in here just with all this equipment and stuff. But, I would say, probably a good range would be 65 to maybe 80 degrees ambiently. I mean, technically the print heads are printing about 86 or so, but I don't know if I would go any higher than that, guys. You want to make sure that, you're not causing yourself issues with your machines. So, did you 3D print the adapter for the line laser? Yes, I did. Planning to get the DT-UV version, would like to print on binders for TCG binders. Will this machine ink be good enough for this application? It doesn't have flexible ink, but it's to be on that TP material. Matthew, this is the dual UV variant. This has the flexible ink, so you would have no issue with that whatsoever. Minimum diameter for the rotary to fit in. I think when the jaw's fully closed, it kind of looked like it was probably about like a inch and a half, maybe, give or take. I could put a flex tape on it after. Does the laminator cut the specific graphic shapes or just a straight line cut? It should be a straight line cut. You actually read my real question. Yes, I did. How often do you have to run the maintenance cycle? The machine will do it itself. Estimated ink cost for that, again, subjective. Machine will do it itself. Guys, ink costs, guys, the machine is very eco-friendly in terms of use for that. So, ink cost shouldn't be too bad. Would you be willing to make the file available? You can reach out to me privately. You can get me on Facebook, Richard Gianacora, or find my business, Forge and Thread Supply Company, or you can find me in the Omni Printer users group. Okay. But I want to get one that does the DTG model. Understandable. Yeah, the DTG model, you're not going to have the flexible whiting channel built in per se. Can you print from the lip to the bottom of a 40-ounce Stanley Cup without a handle? That is a great question, guys. I have not fully tested that yet. I do have one I'm going to play with tomorrow. Obviously, the handle can come off too, which is going to make life a lot easier. I would say that based upon that very severe kind of taper, that there would be a very serious challenger to get to that bottom portion. So not 100% sure. The 30 ounces might be a bit easier. Because obviously we do, we level them out in the laser engravers too. So, again, something to be tested yet. So, just curious to see a crystal cube printed. Yes, you did, Lee. Will the rotary do shot glasses? Should be able to. xTool ink is very affordable. Yes, use case very affordable for this machine, guys. So if I keep this thing in my shop where it gets down to about 40 degrees and then in the winter, that's no good. I guess I was hoping the ceramic heaters would do their thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to tell you one way or another on that. I really don't. I mean, even like the apparel printer, I would never let it get that cold. So I'm really not too sure on that. You may want to try to find an alternative. Yeah, I really don't know, Rock. I'm sorry. So, all right. So I'm gonna pull Studio back up here, guys. I'm going to shut the chat off here for just a second. So as soon as I open this up, it will actually... Oop. Let's rerun that scan, guys. Sorry. Oh, no, we got it. Okay, I'm not sure why we got that error. Yeah, we're set. Okay. Guys, again, I'm in a test version of Studio, so things are a little wonky. This is not, out to public yet. So, all right, as you can see, if I zoom in, my mark that I made with my dry erase marker is right there. Okay. And I did not purposely put it there because of that line there. I just randomly went and drew it in, right? So if I wanted to align something off of there, I totally could. So, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get rid of that graphic. And let's grab... Ooh, what do I want to grab? Let's do... Hang on. Let me find something. Un momento, por favor. Okay, let's take something off of just a quick Google search. And save that. Sorry, guys, I want to do something other than my own logo, just to, show you guys something, Where are we at here? Sorry, guys, one moment. I totally, I should have done this earlier. I totally apologize. It's my own fault. Okay, so let's grab this. And we're going to save it. Crisp, I got your message. Sorry, guys, almost there. Of course, you went to unknown. Shift Command 4. All right, let's see if Studio wants to play nice with this. Nope, not that. How about... There we go. All right, so let's try and kick... We're gonna try to use some of our tools here in Studio to try to get rid of this background. So let's go. We're gonna do AI cutout here, guys. So again, this is based on the Atom system. So gonna go ahead and come into AI cutout, and it's gonna go ahead and it's gonna generate that for us. Okay, so remove that background. I'm happy with that. So we're gonna go to confirm. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come into crop. That way, if I have any transparent pixels around, we should be able to just snap to tightest bounds. Sweet. All right, and then next up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change this to, oop, not 38. Geez, guys. We're gonna go to 3. Okay, and I'm gonna let this go straight from center here. All right, and in theory, if I wanted to essentially, line up between my ridges on the cup here, versus the top, we absolutely could. Okay, and then here I'm going to go ahead and we're going to run this in a flat, and we're going to run this. Obviously, we're going on a black tumbler, so we're going to want to run a white backing. That way, we get all that vividness of those colors in there. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to 2 layers of color because I really want that to really just pop on there. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to come into process here. It's going to go and process that image for us, showing us 18 minutes 43 seconds. Let's go ahead and get a cost on this, guys. So this is a real world on a tumbler. Boom, we're looking at a total of 2.86 cents, guys. 2 cents. Something like that with a print like that, you could probably put, on a shelf at a, fairgrounds or in your shop or whatever for, $20. And these cups in bulk, you're like 5, 6. So tons of profit potential there, guys. Go ahead. We just sent that while that's printing. Last moment Q&A, guys. Let's go ahead and drop them in the comments. Fire them off. We'll answer everything that we can right now. Oh, you are right. I do have 2 of the graphic on there. Whoopsies. Hold on. You guys caught me. Did I? Ah. The irony is on that, guys, I actually did not have 2 of the graphic on there. The way that is the way that graphic actually had saved. Oh, okay. Well, let me, hang on. You guys got me all messed up now. That's cured on there, too. That's all right. We'll just, again, I mean, it's a cheap cup, so you guys got the point. Let me find something else. What are the odds, right? Like, all right. Hang on a second. Legit. Literally, you guys, hold on. I will show you guys this. So when I import this, okay, and I did it as a screen cap, you can see it was actually doubled up already. It wasn't me. So let me grab something else here real quick. Good catch, though. Oy, oy, oy. Ooh, okay. Let's see. This one's kind of cool. Let me make that screen bigger. Nope, wasn't me, guys. All right, so let me go ahead and import back in. Nope, not that one. That's the one that got us. Let's grab this one. Guys, anytime I ever bring anything in, I always like to go with keep size first and then resize after. That's just me. I'm like overly retentive about that. Let's see if we can get a good cutout on that one. I hope. No, not a great cutout. Let me try to see if we can do a manual dropout. Nope. Nope. All right, one more shot. One more shot at getting something here. Let me see. I don't have the time to sit there and kind of really clean that up like super good, guys. What about this? New tab. That was pretty cool, though, actually. Actually clean that up for something else at a later date. All right, let's do this one. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let's let that one run. I'm going to play it safe only because I did move that just to make sure that I don't have any issues with making contact with the print head. Guys, you can batch process and all that mess with it being set. But me moving that the way that I did, I'm just going to play it safe. I don't want to make any or have any head strikes impacts. So, and yeah, I probably could have just went right over that, but it's fine. So, all right, while this is doing that, fire it off in the comments, guys. Let me answer those questions for you. I will put the QR code back up here for you. Right there. Go ahead and you can scan it. If you're on a cellular device, guys, you can just take a screen cap of it, open up your Photos app, press and hold on it, and it should emulate it for you to open up the URL. Okay. Angeline, mini split. Yes, definitely. Mini splits are great. That's what we got here. So no wine bottles on the rotary. Please advise people to stop full wrapping tumblers, cups, mugs that come in contact with lips. Not a good look. Don't put lips on it, guys. That's why these ones, they got the stainless bands up there. You can full wrap it. There's no problem with that. You got the stainless band up there. Yeah, it's all in positioning, especially if you got cups that have, straws and all that stuff. You must have some kind of Yinzer. Yes, I have plenty of Yinzer graphics, but they're on my other main PC. I'm running the test version of Studio on my MacBook that's separate from all that stuff. It's not tied on my network attached storage. I keep those things separated right now because this is just, I use this laptop for testing purposes, guys. Yeah, and that definitely was not to the graphic, guys. We caught that. It was the graphic. Apparently, my laugh woke up Beth. It's not bedtime yet. Do I have an external exhaust on my printer, or is the onboard filtration good enough? Great question. So I technically do have the AP2 hooked on this. I will tell you, with the activated charcoal layer and the HEPA filter, like, double check that. Yep, HEPA, activated carbon. Sorry. Stumbling up my own words after 11. It is pretty much plenty good enough. You'll definitely get just a teeny tiny little bit of maybe some smell while it's printing and curing and stuff like that, guys. But I have an AP2 on it. I'm very susceptible to migraines, so I'm just play it safe for me. But it is compatible with the AP2. You can definitely use it with it if you really want to make sure you have adequate filtration of all fumes and all that stuff. So. There was no need to stop the print or move the cup. Continue a reprint. You wouldn't notice the overprint. Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't know what design I was going to pick at that point. Either way, it's not a cup that it's just a tester, man. I've got literally probably 700 of those cups here. So, can you use the air purifier from the F1 on the Omni? If you're referring to the desktop air purifier, somebody did say something and ask something about that the other night. By the book officially says AP2 if you're going to use it. Okay. So, all right, our modeling should be done. So let me reopen Studio so that updates here for you guys. And yeah, drop that graphic out. Okay, got it. Good to go. Cool. You see my crappy overlay over here. I mean, in theory, I could do it, but I'll probably, maybe. It's a Polar Camel, so I can really, in theory, go wherever I want on it, guys. So maybe I can salvage it. Yeah, I can salvage it. That's what we're going to do. So, all right, process and print. Okay. Now that we're okay, Now you can go ahead and fire it off in the comments, guys. Last Q&A. Last Q&A. Go ahead and drop it, and we will answer them for you. Q&A session, guys. Let's go. Fire them off. I know there's still questions out there. All right, have any idea how long that filter will last? Again, all depending upon how much printing that you're actually doing on there. Very subjective question there. But no, there is filter monitoring built into there. You know, I probably, maybe. Um, Air filter, according to this, by replacement is good for 720 hours. 720 hours of working time. Okay. Have any idea how long? Yeah, 720 hours. TCJ, 18 minutes to do a tumbler. That is because I'm running one white ink layer plus 2 color layers on top of it. That is set by me. If I would have just kept it 1 and 1, it would have been much quicker. Tallest and widest half canvas that I made art on. Those canvases that you've seen all night, those have been 12 by 16. Your actual maximum working bed, you're 13 by 16 and a half. Will I be showing any apparel printing? You have the big apparel printer, need to exchange. I do not have the DT model, okay? This is what I'm telling everybody. If you have an apparel printer, guys, if you have an apparel printer and you are already using that for doing any of your textile work and stuff like that, you totally don't need to do the UV DT variant unless you want to do specific things, okay? Specific DTG printing. Other than that, my opinion, if you have an apparel printer, the dual's the way to go. That way you get access to all those ink channels. So, good job, me over here. Move that graphic over. Yeah, right there. Yep. That's yeah. As soon as I got the scanning of it, I was like, maybe that'll cover it up, right? Which it did. So that was good. Should I put a protective coat on a black cup with the pads they put? Should you put a protective coat on black cup with the pads they put in the box? I'm not. Can you reword that for me? If you're talking about protective coating over the actual print, I mean, in theory, yes, I could have put some resin layers on there, but time, guys, it's just time right now. I can go back and resin it after. So, Ruiz, can the UV DT print canvases as well as dual UV? Yes, they both will print canvases, no problem. Yep, Samuel, thank you for joining me. Really do appreciate it there, bud. All right, guys, it's your guys' time. Q&A, fire them off. This is it. Once this tumbler is done, I'm done. So fire them off. Fire them off. What do I use as a primer on smooth objects? Really depends. Some objects require primer, some don't. At least clean your surfaces. I've been using 91% isopropyl alcohol for most things. Been perfectly fine. You will receive it's literally labeled by xTool UV printing primer wipe. It's written on there for glass and ceramics. I mean, there are certain products that are going to require other adhesion promoters and stuff. You know, and there's probably a lot of information and resources and stuff on the internet for that. So, you know, on the other machine that I have, there's a primer that's built into it. You know, again, tons of information on the market for sure. How do people get free xTool machines? I love all of mine. You got to work for it, and I can't say that it was free. So, is there a speed difference in the dual versus the DFT in terms if you're just doing like actual UV printing and you're using, you know, the multiple ink channels at a time? The dual is definitely faster. How do I put a deposit for my pre-order? I went to their website and it just put the entire cost in the cart. At this point, pre-ordering is closed. It is machine purchasing time, so it's going to put the full cost in your cart. If you need to exercise any financing options that are out there, there is a firm which is running some 0% promotions and stuff. You have CityPay, PayPal, ClickLease. That's another option that's out there, guys, too. So, those are different things that you guys can use for any financing purposes on this machine. Sharice, they give you spraying little wipes. That's what I'm talking about, Primer. I believe we have, there's a couple little wipes that did come with it. And again, I mean, these are, starter things that they gave me with it. But there's definitely other, cleaners, adhesion promoters, and stuff like that out there. The cleaning wipe that they give, it's literally labeled 45% isopropyl alcohol. I got a bottle of 91% right here that I've been using with the microfiber just fine. So, no problem. Barbie, thank you for being here. On a white surface, sometimes when I try printing without using white ink, it smears the coloring, so I ended up always adding a layer of white. Does the Omni have any issues with smearing? I haven't had any smearing issues whatsoever. If you're having smearing issues, it means that either your UV lamp is not operating effectively or you're out of focus and can't properly cure your inks. So may want to check that. But especially on the white surfaces, like the white canvases and stuff like that, you don't need a white laydown, guys, unless you're texture building. When you do a tumbler, do you have to leave doors open or closed? I mean, right now they're open. I could close them, but I have it open that way you guys can see. It is operating just fine. Sharice, no problem. Okay, guys, this is your guys' time. Q&A. Drop them. Can the rotary handle square-shaped shot glasses or rocks glasses? I mean, if they're square shape, honestly, you're going to be better off just putting them right directly on the bed. And or if you want to make, a jig of some sort, to be able to stack up a whole ton of them. If you want to keep them, like, super straight. If you're going to lay out, like, a grid arrangement, stuff like that. So. Michelle, where can you get the 91% alcohol? Your local grocery store? Drugstore? Maybe Amazon? I don't know. I mean, definitely your local grocery store. How long does the initial calibration take? By the time that I got it out of the box and did my initial setup and inking and stuff like that, calibrations, just the machine itself, it was probably 10 to 15 minutes. And then the rotary, which it does its own thing, that was maybe 3 to 4 minutes or so. Todd, I have the F1, F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra, P2. Which ones talk to the Omni? I mean, anything could technically work in a manual print and cut workflow if that's what you're asking about. I do believe, and I could be wrong on this, so I'll have to double check, but I do believe the F2 Ultra was on the list for the integrations. During low print usage times, it's a good practice to print once a week just to keep the nozzles good, kind of like EcoTank printers. I mean, obviously, printing is going to be good no matter what, right? So, that you're promoting, flow, stuff like that, keeping your nozzles clear and whatnot. I mean, like the machine, does have its, and I like to say the almost autonomous maintenance system because there is still a little bit of input from your guys' end of things there. But it definitely, it's not going to hurt it to run it, obviously. But you don't want to leave it, sit beyond. We'll say right now they're saying, 2 weeks is the vacation mode. Can we print on a baseball ball? Do I need the rotary to do it? I mean, if you're just doing a certain small spot on there and you have some way to secure it in the bed, so either i.e. a fixture or a jig, something like that, then you'd be okay there. I'm sure you can clamp it with the rotary if you want to go all the way around it, for whatever reason. How much will replacement heads be? At launch, replacement heads are $3.99. Is the dual UV can be able to put into the shirt or not? I believe I got your question there. If you're trying to print direct to a shirt, you need the UV and DT variant. Ordered the UV DT version now. I think I made a wrong decision. Will you recommend the double UV instead? L2236. That is entirely up to your use case there, bud. If you want to be able to do, garment printing and single one-off DTF transfers and stuff like that, then you're on the right machine. if you want to have access to all of your ink channels and all that mess at all times, including, a dedicated rigid white, a dedicated flexible white, and having the fluorescent inks, then you need to be in the dual. So, it's all dependent upon your use case and what you want to do, truthfully. All right. Do I know how fast the waste ink cartridges fill up? Again, subjective on use there. I know that that was one of the questions that she had answered. I believe she said that she only had to change hers. It was either once or twice. She's got 800 some hours of print time on that machine, guys. So that should tell you everything that you need to know there. Do you have to prime the ink? If there is a process that you walk through whenever you're doing initial setup. The software will walk you through everything. Haven't seen on the specs. What's the max print height? Like how tall of an object will fit on the flatbed? I mean, you could flex tape that here as soon as that's done and comes out. I'm not 100% sure on that. I probably would say 8 inches, maybe just by visually looking at it. We'll find out. Does dual UV fluorescent ink get mixed in to produce more vibrant colors even without a black light? We mix CMYK to produce other colors. Does fluorescent also get mixed in to make new colors? If you're talking about an expansion of the CMYK gamut, I believe right now that's not in this at the moment. It's probably got something to do with the G7 certification. But I know you can go and do certain spot coloring and all that stuff. But I don't have the honest answer to that right this second. I don't want to give you bad info. I like the thought process, though. Is this the only rotor you can use with the Omni? Todd, yes. This is the OR1. This is designed to be utilized with the Omni based upon all the autonomous features that are part of it. The RA2 and RA3 are not compatible. 3-day print. The neon takes over. It's not glow in the dark. IR height Katie, if I'm saying that right. Anyone else paying the monthly plan? Plenty of my customers have bought with the financing options, either via Affirm, CityPay, PayPal, or the ClickLease. So definitely the options that is available from xTool. Is xTool recommending the purchase of an extra UV print head now? No official communication on that. It would be good to have on hand. I mean, it is going to be a maintenance consumable. It's just like the apparel printer. So, not saying you need to buy it right now, but it would not be a bad idea to have on hand. Lifestyle lids. It will be identical to the head that is currently in the machine. Okay, yeah, Michael, I saw your response there. I don't know who you would have talked to at Open Source. So, yeah, like I said, I do believe it has something to do with the G7 certification. But like I said, you can go in and you can spot color, certain things certain ways, and I'm not saying that you can, specifically, command the fluorescence, to mix otherwise, but I do believe it has something to do with that. I haven't tried that. I'll be wholly honest with you. So, least humidity you should have in your room with the printers. I do not let mine get below 45%. That's just me. Average lifespan of the print heads, again, they are a consumable, so again, subjective based upon how much printing that you're doing. I do believe you'll be between 6 months and 12 months. Does the xTool Care cover a print head? For accidental damage purposes or anything, yes. Tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, so that would be 7 p.m. Mountain. Stored UV ink lifespan 12 months. That's pretty much industry standard, guys. So last call on questions. Last call. Last call. Fire them off, guys. If you haven't done it yet, smack that QR code there and go ahead and enter. Puts you in for a set of inks for the UV printer. You'll find out within 48 hours, guys. Set inks. Set inks. It's a pretty good deal there, actually, for consumables. Can you print layer by layer? One layer for CMYK and white and two. Yes, you can. You can dictate it. You can dictate however many layers of white, however many layers of color, however many layers of resins, fluoros, whatever you want. Totally up to you. I had this one set here at one white and two color. Bold reflections, your first emoji or whatever didn't come in. It shows a question mark for me. Not too sure, but I got the finger point and the thumbs up, so I got you. Hopefully it was a good one. Christy Sprague, shelf life 12 months. Replacement head cost right now $3.99. Hey guys, last call of questions. As soon as this tumbler is done, we are done. Can you print polypropylene plastic? I'm sure you could. Why would you do two color? More vibrant? Yes, vibrancy. I'm on a black mug. One probably would have been fine. Two, you know, I think a little bit more vibrancy for what I'm doing. Correction, what I mean is that the two layer will have a different design. Let's look at... So your original comment's probably swamped in with some of this. Let me see. Yeah, you would dictate the fluorescent layer. That would be top layer anyways. But not just normal wear and tear after a year. I mean, yeah, they're consumable items. It's going to be subjective based upon what you guys are actually doing. So, they are a consumable. It's just like the apparel printer. It is a consumable. So, all right, guys, got our tumbler here. I messed myself up. It's 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock. I was supposed to probably have stretched that by about 15% to accommodate, but as you can see, right off the Omni. Again, UV printed, chip test. Really? Chip test? Nothing. So, there it is. So, little thing to keep in mind, guys. Just acts just like the laser engravers. In theory, whenever you're doing any cylindrical shapes, you really should be widening your art by about 10 to 15%, depending upon what you're doing, so that you don't have this kind of egg shaping. I totally missed that. I'm surprised somebody didn't call me out on it. That is on the comments there. But either way, this is a tester. That is solely it, guys. But that is the final finished product there. Normally, I would probably put a varnish on top of this just for, you know, longevity. But again, tester. So as you can see, that is that. Last call questions, guys. Last call, last call. I got the correct just job well done. Awesome, thank you. Smallest object you could fit in the rotary jig. So, and you know what? Somebody did ask about the chuck earlier. Where is my flex tape? I have it somewhere. Hang on. You know, when you set something down somewhere, and you think you know where it is, and it's not there, it's always discouraging. And you know what's awesome is that it literally was like 6 inches away from the camera, guys. All right. Let's wrap this around here. So in terms of the jaw for fitting inside of things, I know this was a question that popped up. Okay. So all the way around on perimeter, you're at 5 1/8. So 2 7/16, give or take. Okay. And then somebody asked about working height. Bed, maximum that you could fit in there. So let's put a tray on. Whoop. And now up to the LiDAR sensors is where I'm going to go with this, just because, I mean, technically that would be the backs out. I would say to the bottom of them, safe 7.5. About midway in them, which is probably like an absolute maximum tap out. Probably 8-ish. Again, don't hold me to it. Don't scold me. Just happy to measure based upon my eyes. Will I be able to print on a tumbler that I've Jeez Louise, guys. Glittered and then epoxy resin. I don't know. You could try it. Let's see. Great stream. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, the plan does not cover normal wear and tear. It is going to be for, accidental damages, stuff like that. Software should account for the egg warp. xTool, can you hear me? It should at least recommend it, right? There's probably a reason why that it doesn't do that, because obviously you can command the software to do whatever you want. But you see, I'm surprised you didn't call me out on it. I definitely should have stretched that a little bit. Are the fumes strong with machine open? No. Are the trays keyed or reversible? They are reversible. The only thing that's not reversible is going to be the OR1 rotary, guys. Charisse, thank you for the kind comment. Christy's Prague, again, I already answered that 3 times. Wear and tear is not covered in the care plan. Have I run into any unexpected issues with the printer so far? Daimler, just, again, I'm on a test version of Studio with this. So, I've periodically had like a random thing pop up here and there, but nothing that would have been like detrimental to the machine itself. But the software is really good for, making sure that it pulls up anything. So, there's that. All right. 2 more minutes, guys. That's all I'm going to give. It's pushing midnight here. It's probably one of the longest streams I've done on xTool for a long time. But, this is a very exciting machine. It's a great machine. Compared to, some of the output and results that I see out of some of the other machines in the commercial market and stuff. The biggest thing that I like here is the fact that we have that G7 certified coloring. The colors are vibrant. They're beautiful. The things that you can do are pretty much limitless. I love the fact that we have the fluorescence in the dual UV for sure. Vibrancy is just, insane. So it's been good. It's been really good, especially for everything that I've been throwing at it so far. And there's only just more to come at this point. So, other than that, anything else? All right, not fridge. Is xTool good with system software updates and new to the brand? Yes, we are always updating and making improvements and stuff. It's not uncommon to see a system update, probably every month and a half or so as far as Studio goes, and or in terms of the machines and with firmware updates and all that stuff. Probably once a month or so. Not uncommon, always improving. So. All right, guys, it is 11:50 here on the East Coast. I'm going to dip out. I have some other things I got to finish up here. So I appreciate you guys spending your Sunday night with me. Hope you guys have a great night. And tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back here, same places. We'll do some different stuff tomorrow night too. But if you guys come back, think of any questions overnight, anything like that, bring them for me tomorrow night. But other than that, have a great night, guys, and get some rest. Thanks.